excited about their defense. How about the two seniors at linebacker?
Yeah, those two seniors are big players for them. They're going to be sideline to sideline, arguably the best two linebackers in the country in Paris Bennett and Zaire Franklin. Paris Bennett, last 4 out of 5 games, he's had 10-plus tackles. Zaire Franklin, for a career, 200-plus tackles, and he's the first 3-time captain in Syracuse history. That tells you about the leadership he brings to this defense. Expect both of these guys to have a huge impact against this Florida State offense today.
Jay, they are really excited about the way they're playing defense. It's dramatically better than it was a year ago, Tom.
Doak Campbell Stadium ready to go for Florida State and Syracuse. It is the 11th all-time meeting. Florida State leads the series 9-1. That lone Syracuse win came back in 1966 in Central New York. Now one of the great traditions in college football. Osceola and Renegade ready to plant the spear and get us rolling on the ACC Network Game of the Week, presented by Mellow Mushroom. Florida State looking for its first home win of the year with a 2-5 record, 2-4 in conference play. And they've lost 2 in a row to Louisville and Boston College in succession, but they welcome in the orange this afternoon.
Yeah, Tom, this is going to be a tough test for Florida State defensively. This is an offense for Dino Babers. It's operating on all cylinders. When they'll throw the ball, they had 4 interceptions against Miami 2 weeks ago, but still rushed for over 260 yards. So it's a two-way go in this offense. So looking forward to watching that offense for Syracuse operate.
Second year for Dino Babers on that Syracuse sideline. 6th overall as a head coach. Now time for our Carolina Ford keys to the game with Dave Archer.
Yeah, we talked to Dino Babers and talked about what do you need to do. He says we need to start fast. We're playing great in the second half and really playing well there. We're getting off to slow starts and digging ourselves a hole. Look for Syracuse to get off to a better start. And for Florida State, when you talk to the coaches, they got a mistake here, a little mistake there, something bugging them there. Take care of the little things. You're too talented to be where you are record-wise. Come out and play to your capabilities, and Florida State will be fine.
Florida State, Dave, won the toss, elected to defer. Jimbo Fisher, who's won a national championship here at Florida State back in 2013, his 8th year on the sideline. He is 4-0 against the Orange. The ball's in the air, and we're rolling on the ACC Network. Sean Riley watches it sail over his head and through the end zone. So we'll see the Orange on offense to start our football game this afternoon. Time for the Food Line Impact Players. Syracuse on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, we talked about the quarterback leading rusher. Dante Strickland will get a tribute on that running game as well. You see he had over 100 yards against Miami as well 2 weeks ago. And Service, the center, a freshman, has done an excellent job. He's got a freshman to his left as well. They've done a nice job protecting Dungy. We talk about Dungy, 7th in the country in total offense. Outstanding player, and boy, is he tough.
78 degrees as we get started in Tallahassee. It's Phillips trying to string it out, and he gets stopped by Florida State. Loss of 1.
Yeah, this is where Syracuse wants to speed things up. They've been averaging the snap at right around 21 seconds. They'd like to go a little bit faster than that. This is a team that likes to throw a lot of plays. They're averaging about 86 plays, 87 plays a game.
That number of plays, 4th most in the Football Bowl subdivision for the Orange. Second down for Dungy. Lets it go quickly over the middle. It is caught. Irvin Phillips makes the grab, and he got 6 yards.
Yeah, and important to tackle in space. Excellent job by Kyle Myers to make the tackle in the slot. That's something you have to do against Syracuse, though. A lot of short passes. You must tackle in space if you're Florida State.
15 straight games with a reception for Phillips. 3rd down for the Orange. Another quick release from Dungy, and it's enough for a first down near the 40. Phillips again is the target, and they got 9.
Yeah, Phillips is saying, fill me up, man. They can't cover me. He's in that slot area we talked about. Phillips, outstanding, understands coverage, does a nice job of slipping inside Myers there.
From its own 39 for the Orange, this is Dungy trying to go up the middle. Got 2 Food Line Impact Players for the Noles.
Matt Thomas will be one of those guys that will shadow Dungy when he runs the football. And, of course, Brian Burns, outstanding edge player. Can they hold up against the run? Had a tough time against the BC run a week ago. Let's see if they can hold up against Syracuse trying to run the ball right at him.
Dave Burns also big on special teams. 3 career block punts for Burns including one last year in the victory against Syracuse at the Carrier Dome. 2nd and 9. Strickland, roadblock at the 40. There is no gain.
I think it's the defense. It took offense to what happened to him a week ago. Didn't play with a ton of energy defensively, and really BC got after him physically, ran the ball on him. You can see there was a resolve, and talking to the coaches this week, Charles Kelly in particular, resolve on this defensive side to get back to playing Florida State football defensively.
Another 3rd down for the Orange. They converted their first one on this drive from the 41. 3rd and 9 for Dungy in Syracuse.
This is where Florida State can mix things up. You see a lot of players standing up, a lot of different changes, looks.
Dungy has the time, a little touch on it. Derwin James went up to get it, and he's picked it off.
Well, Tommy fools him. Derwin James is one of those guys that was standing up in the line of scrimmage before the snap, and this is what he does. He's got such great speed. He disguises the play. Now he's going to bail out and take the wheel route. He just jumps the route of the back. Strickland, and there he is. The All-American makes a huge play. Missed all of last year with an injury. Had a tremendous freshman season and a big play here early. And this is something Florida State has not been able to do, is turn the other team over. Came in with only 5 turnovers on the year.
First interception of the year for Derwin James, the sophomore from Haines City, Florida. Knowles on offense with excellent field position after the interception. It's Blackman.
When you look at James Blackman, obviously forced into service because of the injury to DeAndre Francois in the opening game against Alabama. And the young kids played good. I mean, you're talking about this kid playing high school football last year. He's done a nice job of trying to absorb what Jimbo wants him to do. They've pared the playbook down a little bit for him to match what he can do. Not a great runner, so interesting they'd run the football right there. That's not something they've done with him very much.
Out of Glades Central High School, Belle Glade, Florida. 2nd down after he got 7 on that rush for James Blackman, the freshman. Akers should have 1st down yardage near the 42 of Syracuse. The Food Line impact players for the Knowles on offense.
Well, you just saw in Cam Akers, he was the #1 running back in the country last year, coming out of high school, now playing here, trying to replace Dalvin Cook and Patrick with the injury. And Auden Tate, huge receiver on the outside, 6'5", 225. He is playing a little bit banged up, so have to continue to watch what he can do. This is a wide receiver core, Tom, that's been banged up all year long.
This Florida State offense struggled just over a week ago on the road at Boston College. Just 213 total yards for Florida State. 1st and 10, they swing it out into the flat. Akers makes a cut to the 42, but dragged down. Zaire Franklin had a piece of him. There is a penalty marker on the field, thrown at the 40. Gary Patterson, our referee this afternoon.
Now we take a look at the Food Line impact players for Syracuse defensively. Chris Slayton is one of those guys up front. Does a good job of creating some pressure. See 21.5 career tackles for loss. And Rodney Williams, he'll play a big role in this game. Roam in the middle back there, trying to seek out some of these outstanding Florida State wide receivers. Last year had a big day, had 8 tackles and a sack in a loss to Florida State up in the Carrier Dome.
45-14, the win for Florida State on the road last year. That was the Dalvin Cook show, Dave. 4 rushing touchdowns for Cook.
This is something that Florida State's had a tough time with, is overcoming some of their mistakes. Major penalty here. Let's see if Florida State can overcome that on the offensive side of the ball.
They gave it to Rasul for 2 yards up the middle. Austin Valdez getting in the way for the Orange.
Talking to Jimbo Fisher about his young quarterback and what do you do? He said the first thing that you know about him is he's really tough. And I said, why do you have tough guys at quarterback? You Jameis Winston, you got DeAndre Francois, you got this kid. He goes, we coach him. That's something we want tough guys playing quarterback for him. That's what we look for when we're looking for that quarterback. What is it in his DNA? That's what we're looking for. And they have a tough guy at quarterback, seems like all the time. This guy's slightly built, Tom, but he's still tough as nails.
6'5" and 169 pounds for the freshman. Wants to uncork it down the center of the field. He's got a receiver. It's a touchdown. Florida State. Quan Murray gets behind that Orange secondary.
Well, exactly what the doctor ordered for an offense that's averaging just under 18 points a game. Big-time throw, under pressure by Blackman, right down the pipe to his speed guy, Murray. Murray running the deep post right, and you see how excited the true freshman quarterback is. Boy, it's been hard coming, tough sledding for him to try to make big plays down the field. He got one right there.
Ricky Aguayo has the extra point. Dave, 51 yards on the connection for the TD.
Florida State gets a turnover to start the game. Derwin James makes a play, and how about Naquan Murray from Blackman? The Noles early.
What day is it?
Wrestling sexiest superstar Ric Flair!
Wrestling was his love. Then it became a disease.
He got really wound up in it. He could have his fantasy world and his family on the side.
What if I told you his life was never an act?
I'm the best there is! Nature Boy!
Classic NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lines on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone, touchdown Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for two teams with postseason expectations. Both hungry for a marquee win to revitalize their seasons and jump back into the division title hunt. Monday Night Football. Lions, Packers, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready? Massive Insurance. And by Coke.
Jimbo Fisher's team getting on the scoreboard first as they come in to Bobby Bowden Field at Doak Campbell Stadium. They strike for 51 yards and a touchdown pass.
Now, a couple things here. Tampa 2. Is he getting up depth, or is this safety supposed to get back? Because Murray is going to split the middle of the field on the post route from the slot. You see Bennett trying to get some depth, but he never gets there. It's an easy throw and catch to Murray right down the pipe. So blown coverage right there by Syracuse.
Once again, that kickoff through the end zone. Logan Tyler, and there is no return. Dave, let's go around the ACC. It's presented by Mattress Firm. The 4 other games later today.
Yeah, it's a great slate of games. Obviously, the big one is later. The 2 big ones later on: Clemson, NC State, and of course Virginia Tech, Miami tonight in South Florida. Those 2 will kind of set the table potentially what it's going to be in Charlotte. But how about Wake Forest going to Notre Dame? Notre Dame better be buckled up for Dave Clawson's team.
Notre Dame leads Wake in that series 3-0 as the Deacs go on the road. Zach Mahoney has committed the game for the Orange. They got 1 on that first play. They have struggled, though, when they allow the opponent to score first. Syracuse 0-4 this season when their opponent puts points on the board before them. 2nd and 9. Syracuse just beyond the 25-yard line. Mahoney with a forward flip to Strickland.
Well, Tom, things changed dramatically for Syracuse with Mahoney in the game. He is not a run threat like Dungy is, and we're still trying to kind of figure out what's going on. We got DJ on that, DJ Shock, to try to figure out what's going on with Eric Dungy. But Mahoney, not the runner that Dungy is, does hold the records. He had counted for 7 touchdowns in a game you and I did last year against Pitt. So he does have the ability to ring it up, but you got to protect him.
Yeah, 137 points, Dave, between Pittsburgh and Syracuse in regulation, the most in a regulation game in the Football Bowl subdivision. Dungy did not play in this game last year. Mahoney's in there. That pass is on the money at the 35. Zach Mahoney slinging it, and he hits Ishmael. First down, Orange.
Well, this is the matchup you're looking for. McFadden against Ishmael on the outside. Good job. Good timing by Mahoney to get it out as soon as Ishmael came out of his break. Excellent throw and catch and a first down.
Yeah, Dungy was dealing with injury last year and did not participate in the game at the Dome between the Noles and Orange. They'll take Strickland into the line. Second effort. Just past the 40 for Strickland. He got 1.
So far, Florida State's been extremely stout against the run, which you would expect. They embarrassed in the performance a week ago. Obviously, outstanding job by Steve Adazio's team to run the football right at them. So Florida State trying to swell up against the run here early. And when you do that, now you force Syracuse into some uncomfortable third down situations.
Fifth game in which Mahoney has seen action. He keeps it just beyond the 40. He stopped for maybe a yard. Josh Sweat on the tackle. So Dungy went into the locker room. Now he's back out.
Well, he took a shot. He ran the ball on that design quarterback draw. Took a shot. There he is on the sideline. Had his shoe off. They evidently went in and took a look at his ankle. Now going to kind of gear back up. But it's Mahoney's job right now.
Dave hits his man near the 50 to Irvin Phillips. 9 yards.
Excellent throw. Mahoney is last year, Tom, you mentioned he played in about 10 games a year ago. The game we saw played extremely well against Pitt. Completed 60% of his passes a year ago. Yeah, 5 TD passes and a couple of rushing touchdowns in the losing effort against Pittsburgh for Mahoney. Out of the pocket, right side near the 40, and that's incomplete. Looking for Sean Riley. Levante Taylor was back there defensively for the Seminoles. Yeah, long throw there. Wide side of the field. Just short hopped it in there. Running a lot of stop routes, trying to threaten coming off the ball, threaten deep, and set it down.
Mahoney to the 45 of Florida State to Irvin Phillips for 7 yards.
Yeah, and I'm not sure there's a guy that understands coverage, Tom, better than Irvin Phillips. He does an outstanding job of reading man and zone. He's got a lot of option routes to the inside. Mentioned he caught 17 passes against NC State in the game you and I did earlier in the year. Just love his ability to find those open areas. And Syracuse working at the tempo they want to work at.
Yeah, he's up to 65 catches for the season. Orange again deflected and nearly picked at the 30. Off of the deflection. Stanford Samuels had it end up right in his face all of a sudden.
Yeah, trying to get the ball to Riley on the inside, and Derwin James is the guy that was there that batted the ball, or was there in on the ball.
Missed it by that much. Syracuse will keep possession, but they must punt now on 4th down.
DJ Matthews deep to receive from Seminoles.
DJ Matthews, deep man for Florida State. Looks like there's a timeout on the field. And Florida State has taken the timeout.
Tallahassee, Florida on a football Saturday. They're ready here in Seminole land. Are you? 7-0 Noles.
I got.
Wrestling sexiest superstar.
To do it as a freshman.
2nd and 5 for Florida State. Blackman.
Haven't seen a lot of this, Tom, where Blackman is the feature runner on plays. He's taken such a beating this year in throwing the football that they really haven't exposed him to the run game a ton. But already here in the first quarter, we've seen a couple of design runs. Outstanding athlete is James Blackman. Considered a pocket passer coming out of high school. You mentioned it out of Glade Central, who for 2,500 yards and 14 touchdowns a year ago as a senior. They really kind of forced into service. They didn't think he was going to be playing with DeAndre Francois returning as a redshirt sophomore.
Just 34% on 3rd down, the worst in the conference, and swallowed up by Devin M. Butler is Blackman for a loss of 11.
Now Butler is a guy they like to bring from that slot area, and here he comes. Nobody accounts for him, and Blackman certainly didn't see him. Freshman quarterback did not see the extra rusher coming off the edge, and that's why Syracuse has been so good on 3rd down. Number 2 in the country in getting you off the field on 3rd down.
Riley ready for the punt. Tyler from his 1. Riley standing at his 38-yard line. Comes up to meet it at the 46. Gets away from a couple of Knowles. Cut at the 43 and inside the 40. Sean Riley with a nifty return. The punt was 39 yards. The return, 16 for Riley. Knowles in front of the Orange, 7-0, and we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station.
Classic NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lines on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for two teams with postseason expectations. Both hungry for a marquee win to revitalize their seasons and jump back into the division title hunt. Monday Night Football. Lions, Packers, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
Wrestling's sexiest superstar, Ric Flair!
Wrestling was his love. Then it became...
Big Bo Box, feed the whole group with Bojangles chicken, biscuits, fixins, and tea. Bojangles and Dr. Pepper giving you a chance to win a VIP trip for two to the 2017 Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship. Enter at theacc.com/BoVIP. December 2nd, as the Syracuse training staff working on that ankle of Eric Dungy, Dave.
Yeah, he must have really turned it pretty good, and Mahoney now will start again. Mahoney looked pretty sharp when he came in, Tom. Excellent run there.
Handing off to Mo Neal for 8 yards as we check in with DJ.
About Dungy, talk about Dungy being on the sideline. We just got a report from the staff that he's looking at his foot, and he's questionable right now. Not much, but if I get more, I'll let you guys know.
DJ, thank you. That one knocked down by Sweat, who deflected that pass attempt from Zach Mahoney.
He got kind of rolled up right there, Tom. Kind of a strange angle. His foot goes down. Took him out of the game, went in and took a look at it, and now he's over on the side. They're trying to tape it and kind of give him some relief from whatever pain he was feeling on the foot. They take the foot up first, and now they're spatting the shoe to try to give him a little bit of support.
3 for 5 on third down for the Orange. 5th in the conference in third down conversions. They won't get this one. Mo Neal swallowed by the Knoll defense.
Well, they've got some stout guys in the middle, and it's led by Derek Nottie. Nottie, number 91, is the guy that's really going to swell up in the middle and kind of make the play bounce to the left for Strickland, but no place to go because Burns is waiting on him as well on the edge. This has been a much different Florida State defense against the run here early in the game.
It's going to be a 48-yard field goal attempt by Cole Murphy. 55 career field goals for Murphy. It's a low liner. No good. Cole Murphy.
And that's an excellent stop by Florida State's defense. Short field situation with the punt return by Riley. Florida State's defense comes out and shuts the door.
So a miss from 48 yards for Murphy as we go back to Charlotte.
For our Hardee's update, we are looking ahead to NC State hosting Clemson in the Textile Bowl.
Can the Wolfpack offense penetrate the Clemson defense? 7th in the nation in total defense. We'll find out this afternoon. Florida State looking to get victory number 3.
A top 20 matchup for our Hardee's update. That one kicks off at 3:30. Tom, Dave?
Wolfpack trying to snap a 5-game losing streak in that series. Blackman, improvisation, and tackle by Zaire Franklin. 3 yards for Blackman.
Yeah, good pressure by Syracuse to force Blackman off his spot. Take a look at the pressure. See the linebackers flowing. Take a look down here. There's probably his best shot right there on the in route. Might be disguised by the linebacker standing in the way. Blackman does the next best thing. Takes care of the ball. Did not put it into coverage he couldn't see. Pulls it down and picks up a nice gain on first down.
2nd and 7 for Florida State.
Minimize the damage as a young quarterback. Nice job by Blackman right there.
Flips it out. Akers. Akers past the 45. Dragged down shy of midfield. But it's Cam Akers on the run. Williams and Bennett had to combine on the stop. 15 yards.
Yeah, a little freeze option pitch to the outside. And look at the two guys on the outside blocking the receivers. That's what it takes to run the ball in the 2nd and 3rd level as receivers blocking down the field. Cam Akers, the benefactor there. Came in averaging just under 5 yards a carry for the freshman.
Led the team in rushing. just over a week ago at Boston College with 42 yards on 18 carries. And Blackman taken down. Alton Robinson, number 94, for the Orange. A loss of 7 for Florida State.
Get a bootleg off of the play fake to Akers, and right now Robinson right in the backfield avoids the block there and puts the quarterback on the ground. Shock, nice play by the Syracuse defense.
Nice play by the defense, but one thing as a young guy, when you come off that bootleg, the first thing you must do is get your head around right now. He never got his head around to see that defender. If he sees him, maybe he can kind of fall away from the throw and get rid of him, but because he wasn't able to get his head around, lost yardage play.
Blackman's pass complete to Murray. He spins at the moment of impact. Only one after all that work, Dave.
Yeah, it's a tunnel screen. They're trying to set up Murray, who's got great speed, come to the inside. Take a look at Zaire Franklin. The great linebackers on this team does a nice job of tracking the football. Really good job by the defense in a whole. They sprung the play out, allowed Franklin to get back in on the play, but that was a key defense, total defensive stop to string Murray out.
Only 15 seconds on the clock. Could be the final play of the quarter. 3rd and long for Florida State. Blackman. Akers taken down at the 42. Open field stop for the Orange. Scoop Bradshaw. And a loss of 1, and that's the last play of the first quarter, Dave Archer.
Excellent job on the perimeter.
So Florida State had the big touchdown pass of 51 yards. It's our only scoring in the first quarter. Second quarter straight ahead on the ACC Network.
Coming off a statement win, you either build on the momentum or watch it fade to black.
Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight?
November college football with all the pressure of the playoff chase.
Bighorn Crew Cab.
Our first quarter stats are brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery, celebrating 11 years and over $5 billion raised for education. To learn more, visit nclottery.com.
Now, the Derwin James interception for Florida State ended up in the short field opportunity and the long touchdown by Murray. Remember, Florida State overcame a 10-yard holding penalty in that to get that touchdown. Syracuse had one short field, Tom, on the punt return by Riley. Were not able to cash it in, missed the field goal.
Second receiving touchdown of the season for Naquan Murray. Tyler, the punt for Florida State. Riley ranging to his right. We'll watch it bounce and roll for Florida State. And inside the 5. Down at the 4. 55-yard punt. Logan Tyler. The college football playoff rankings brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Our first look at these rankings, Dave, this season.
Yeah, Clemson sitting there at number 4. You're excited about that. The defending national champion has an opportunity. Big game against NC State today. And how about Miami, Virginia Tech at the 10 and 13 spots? Those two teams trying to fight their way up near the top 4. They play each other tonight as well.
We saw that Virginia Tech defense last week, albeit in the rain in Blacksburg, but they were very strong against Duke. And Miami, how many more close games can they win, Dave? Their last 4 by an average of 4.5 points in victory.
Yeah, what'd you think about Georgia jumping over Alabama? I know there's some people in Tuscaloosa who weren't overly happy about that.
I'll just say it's the first time those rankings have come out, Dave. There's plenty of time to decide who the top 4 teams will be, and it's going to change as the weeks go on.
Now, Dungy still remains on the sideline, a big-timer quarterback for Syracuse, and it's Zach Mahoney's team right now. I think he's played well. He's thrown the ball very accurately. The thing that he doesn't have that Dungy brings to the table is the impromptu run. Remember, you just taken your number 1 rusher off the field if you're Syracuse with Dungy on the sideline.
Dungy left after the first offensive series for the Orange. They were taping up his right ankle. Mahoney's pass completed to 10. That's Steve Ishmael. Best in the conference, Dave, over 8 catches per game for Ishmael.
And Tom, Ishmael playing in the slot. We've seen predominantly him outside. He's playing some slot now and is doing a nice job of getting inside the defender.
On third down, through the fingertips of the intended receiver, O'Neal.
Yeah, just a poor throw by Mahoney. He's got Neal in the zone. The running back finds the hole in between the defenders. Watch him hook it up right now. Ball's got to be on him. And boy, very fortunate that that tip ball didn't end up in the hands of a defender. Taylor, the closest defender for Florida State.
Mahoney 4 of 8 through the air, 29 yards. And now Matthews is back for this punt from Sterling Hoffrichter. Sophomore punter for the Orange, but he's 3 yards deep in his own end zone.
And you see different phases of the game service. You get the great punt. Now Florida State's defense gets a stop. Opportunity for a short field here for Florida State's offense.
DJ Matthews wants a fair catch. And right near the 45, he'll make it successfully. 4.6 seconds on the hang time. 44 yards on the Orange punt. The state capital here in Tallahassee. And we're coming right back to Doak Campbell Stadium.
NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lines on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for two teams with postseason expectations. Both hungry.
T-Football is being brought to you by New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. By Coyote Tractor. By Hardee's. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
So many monuments around campus and around the stadium. That's the unconquered statue. 19 feet tall bronze statue depicting Osceola and Renegade. You saw that prior to the game. That's the 6th different Appaloosa horse. A great tradition. Planting a spear. Akers made a move. Akers down the sideline. Trying to accelerate away from the Orange. Touchdown, Cam Akers.
And we talked about shoes to fill. We know Dalvin Cook's moved on. Did that not look like Dalvin Cook right there? Made Paris Bennett one of the best tacklers in the conference miss. And then the speed down the sideline by the freshman as he shoves it in the end zone. Only his 2nd rushing touchdown of the year. But what a big one that was. Taking a look, Stevie stayed in bounds. He did. Nice job by Cam Akers.
Play is under review. If it stands, it's the 2nd rushing touchdown of the season for Cam Akers.
Clinton, Mississippi native, Tom. Boy, God had an outstanding career. His senior year rushed for 2,100 yards and 34 touchdowns at Clinton High School. You can see he clearly stays inbounds all the way down the line, tight ropes it down the sideline. You know, you're inevitably going to be compared to guys. One guy is on the wall here at Doak Campbell, and that's Warwick Dunn, the great Warwick Dunn. Of course, Dalvin Cook at some point will be up there. He's the all-time leading rusher here. But that was a Cam Akers run. Let's not call it a Dalvin Cook run. That's a Cam Akers run. Big-time play.
Gary Patterson confirms things. A touchdown for Cam Akers, 54 yards, his longest run of the season. 2nd rushing touchdown of the year for Cam Akers. Dave, a drive on 1 play, 11 seconds, 13-0, extra point pending for the Noles.
Florida State is struck twice from deep. This time it's finds their top running back, and the freshman, Cam Akers, shoves it in the end zone.
Classic NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for two teams with postseason expectations, both hungry for a marquee win to revitalize their seasons.
The men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. So proud to have you with us. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Akers. Touchdown run to go along with a long touchdown strike for Florida State as we go to Charlotte.
Coming up later tonight in prime time for our Hardee's update, Virginia Tech taking on Miami.
There go the Hokies. They're bringing that lunch pail as well as likely freshman of the year Josh Jackson into Hard Rock Stadium, where the Hokies have only won 2 of the last 4. Canes also have the nation's longest win streak, 12 in a row, going to determine what happens in the Coastal.
That one kicks off at 8 p.m. in Hard Rock Stadium. For now, back to you guys.
Boy, 2 salty defenses, especially the front 7 for both Miami and for Virginia Tech going head-to-head. That's going to be a good one.
Strickland got around that corner for the Orange and out of bounds. 33-yard line, David, an 8-yard pickup for Strickland.
Well, Tom, this is a very similar start for Dino Babers' team again. We talked about the key for them was a fast start. They didn't get it. So now Zach Mahoney going to have to settle in. He's an outstanding passer. Got to sprinkle the ball around just like that. Get his big-time receivers, Phillips and Ishmael, the ball.
That's up to the 38-yard line to Ishmael, who is second in the nation with 8.3 catches per game, 5 yards on that grab by Ishmael.
Yeah, Florida State just playing zone coverage, and they're challenging Syracuse to throw the ball in the holes, taking away the run game.
Strickland ridden to the turf. Jalen Wilkerson made the tackle for Florida State.
What Florida State's saying is you're not running the ball on us. And now with your leading rusher quarterback out of the game, you're not going to run the ball at all against this, and we're going to play zone and see if you can make throws.
Mahoney knocked away from Ishmael. Stanford Samuels.
Now there's Charles Kelly, defensive coordinator. Talked to Charles yesterday. They're under the gun on defense a little bit. This was the veteran side of the team coming into the season, and last week left a bad taste in Seminole fans' mouths.
3 for 7 on 3rd down, screen pass. Florida State has them fenced in. Strickland nowhere to go. 4th down, Orange. Loss of 5.
Oh, what a nice job defensively. This is gang tackling now. Screen, 3-count screen. Excellent job. Chuck, when you look at the way Florida State's throwing the ball, a lot of hats to the football right now.
Tons of hats to the football. When I talked to Dermot earlier this week, I asked him about this defense and how they haven't played up to par. He said, we have not played Florida State style of flying around, hitting your mouth type of defense. And guys haven't been doing the little things like you talked about in the open, being accountable all the way around for 4 quarters. And the first 2 quarters left, they've done that.
They sure have.
Fair catch made at the 20 by DJ Matthews. Duke Energy presents a look at the ACC standings, Dave.
Well, NC State Clemson getting ready to tie it up here in about a couple hours. Those two are going to go head-to-head in Raleigh. Boston College has had a nice resurgence there. You're Syracuse. You see them sitting there in the middle of the pack. And, of course, the top 2 are going to tangle at Hard Rock Stadium in South Florida as Miami takes on Virginia Tech. That'll be a fun game to watch. Virginia and Georgia Tech playing each other just below those 2, playing each other today as well.
Yeah, Dave, should Miami win and Virginia lose, Miami would earn the spot in the ACC championship game December 2nd. And amazingly, it's the 13th edition of that game. It would be the first time that the Canes participate in that championship.
Yeah, and technically they won the side once before, but with the self-imposed ban on postseason play, they did not go. But you're right. That's kind of what a lot of people thought when they created this ACC championship, that Miami would be there a lot. This would be their first trip if they can find a way to win their way there. job on first down, Tom, that time by this defense. This is what you need to do, is put the young quarterback in the long yardage situations.
James Blackman at quarterback for the Noles. Akers. 3 and 4 orange helmets around Akers. Only one.
Good tackling on the perimeter, trying to stretch Syracuse. Can they run to the football? Excellent job of getting to the ball and getting Akers on the ground. And so now here you go. You got it at 3rd and 8. This is where this defense has flourished. Number 2 in the country on third down defenses. Eric Dungy checking in and talking with Dino Babers. Begging to try to get back in the game. It's Eric Dungy right now talking to his coach.
0 for 2 on third down for Florida State. Dungy's been in and out of that locker room for the Orange a couple of times here in the first half after playing in the first series for Syracuse and then having to leave the game. Pressure coming from the edges. Blackman lets it go. It's way too far and into that Syracuse bench area looking for Gavin.
Can you get in 3rd and long? Now you can put pressure on. It looks like Thomas, the linebacker, is going to come clean. Number 23 kind of forced the quick throw from Blackman, and he has to throw the ball away. Excellent series of downs defensively for Syracuse.
First 3 and out for Jimbo Fisher's team. Quick chat with Gavin.
Yeah, that's not a chat that Gavin necessarily is excited about either. Must have blown an assignment there. Give his quarterback an outlet on the throw.
Logan Tyler to punt. Sean Riley standing at his 34-yard line to receive this punt. Tyler gets a good piece of this one, driving Riley back to the 24, and a fair catch. 4.5 seconds of hang time. 54 yards on the punt for Logan Tyler. Tailgating here in Tallahassee. Grab something to eat and we'll be back right after a word from your local ACC station.
Classic NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lines on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for two teams with postseason expectations. Both hungry for a marquee win to revitalize their seasons and jump back into the division title hunt. Monday Night Football. Lions, Packers, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
Wrestling sexiest superstar, Ric Flair!
Wrestling was his love. Then it became a disease.
He got really wound up in it. He could have his fantasy world and his family on the side.
What if I told you his life was never an act?
I'm the best there is! Nature Boy! Woo!
Quick release on the 3. Got it.
Sit down and stay home.
Oh! Stephen Curry with some magic.
Have you downloaded ACC QB Challenge presented by Coyote Tractor? It's a free download. The ACC football game puts your passing skills to the test. Play as your favorite. In coverage deflected and incomplete. Both teams had a chance at that one. Ishmael running with Taylor and James.
Boy, he tried to tip it to himself, Tom. This is a ball that Florida State plays extremely well. They just don't bat it down or come up with the interception. See him leads him with the left hand and tip it to himself, and he almost came up with it again. But pretty good coverage out there. Florida State making sure they've got a couple players around Ishmael. Big timer for Syracuse.
So Eric Dungey's come back into the game. His first action since the first series for the Orange in the first quarter. Derwin James already has an interception. That in the first quarter, his first of the year. Second down for Dungey. Wants to pass again. Scrambles out of that pocket and gets rid of it.
That's certainly not what they wanted to have happen. They'd like to have had a rhythm throw right there where Dungey didn't have to test that foot that's been taped 2 or 3 times. But here, good coverage down the field by the Seminoles. They force him off the spot, and just for good measure, going to dive at that foot if you're a Florida State defender. Make sure he's dancing out of bounds. So 3rd and long again for Syracuse.
3 of 8 for the Orange on 3rd down.
Hey, you're looking at Phillips right here and Ishmael right there. Those are the 2 big timers.
5 receivers to choose from for Dungey. Goes over the middle. Ishmael, very capable hands. The pass on schedule. McFadden made the tackle, but they got 21 on the play.
Again, this is the matchup you're looking for. It's McFadden and Ishmael. McFadden, the All-American from a year ago, 8 interceptions. Ishmael wins to the inside. Excellent throw.
Dungey, all kinds of time. Has to break away and rolls up near the 50.
We talked about in the beginning about Dungey, and what is it that kind of sticks out? Yeah, he's got all the measurables, the skills. The guy's tough. The tough guy. This guy's fought through a lot of injuries at Syracuse. Had some concussion issues. He's added 15 pounds of muscle to the body. Jimbo Fisher, big fan of this guy. He says this guy is as tough as they come.
Second in the conference in total offense. 338 yards per game for Dungey. This pass stops at midfield to Pierce. Only 1 there.
Now shovel to the inside, and Marshall does an excellent job of shadowing. This is kind of a shovel pass back to the inside, but Florida State just stays at home. They're right where they're supposed to be. Excellent job by Florida State to take care of their business, read their keys, be where they're supposed to be. That's some of the things that Charles Kelly talked about. Is this Florida State defense been close, but they just haven't been doing the little things like taking care of their own job. Here you're supposed to be. They did it there.
Dungey found Ishmael to convert the last 3rd down. This 3rd and 6. Moneal comes up about 3 yards short. Needed to get to the 45 of Florida State for Moneal, the sophomore from Gastonia, North Carolina.
Now you run the ball there if you're considering going for it on 4th down. That's certainly what Syracuse is looking to do here.
Have gone for it on 4th down, but decided a little pooch punt from Mahoney. This time should be a legitimate attempt on 4th down for the Orange.
Florida State showing zone coverage.
They make it 64% of the time. Dungey, wide open man, complete. Jamal Custis was wide open, and he just rolls into the end zone for an Orange touchdown.
Boy, a blown coverage by Florida State. The motion by the back out of the backfield causes some indecision in the secondary. Custis comes clean. Back motioned out to the right. Uncovered Custis. Custis was more in the slot. Nobody accounted for him vertically right up the field. Shock. Custis, big play, blown opportunity, and a nice job by Dungey to find it.
And you talk about the blown coverage there. As the motion came out, you saw it. It was zone coverage, but Derwin was yelling towards the backer to get out. And once he got out there, he caught his eyes in the backfield. By that time, the receiver was running full speed and it's touchdown.
Dave Archer, 47 yards on the pass play. Dungey to Custis.
4th down for Syracuse. They got their big-time quarterback in the game. He reads coverage, and Custis pulls it within a score.
Classic NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go, Lions on 3.
You either build on the momentum or watch it fade to black.
Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight?
November college football with all the pressure of the playoff chase.
A 47-yard touchdown pass. Eric Dungey to Jamal Custis. First of the year for Custis, second of his career. 2:27 the time for the drive, but they did it on 4th down. That drive summary brought to you by Lending Tree. When banks compete, you win. Thirteenth TD pass of the season for Eric Dungy. Rasul.
Tom, let's take a look at this play now. Florida State's going to screw up. The back is going to go in motion, so the corner is going to widen. They're playing quarters coverage. That means he takes the slot. You see the backers get screwed up to the inside. They're not sure somebody's supposed to widen. You see a corner lose ground, but the safety comes up, and there's nobody in the middle of the field. When you go quarters, you divide the field in quarters, and that safety didn't account for two receivers on that side of the field, and Custis has the big play.
Blackman standing, delivering, and he took a big hit. Wow, he hung right in there till the last second, Dave. Robinson made the hit on Blackman.
Oh, there's a flag down for roughing the passer. I think this was a bang-bang hit. Let's see how he hits Blackman here. Take a look at this and see if this is a late hit on Blackman. Blackman loads it up, hits him, and I guess considered driving him into the ground, but he jumped in the air to throw it. I'm not sure there was much Robinson could do with that. I mean, once he jumped in the air, I mean, what are you going to do as a defender? You're going to let him go? I think sometimes they're asking the defensive player to do way too much to avoid hitting the quarterback.
First and 10 from the 37 for Florida State. Akers breaking through. Akers cutting back to his right. Racing to the pylon. Akers with a stiff arm. Akers into the end zone. Cam Akers fought off Scoop Bradshaw. Touchdown. Florida State, 63 yards.
Well, you can officially move on to the next great back here at Florida State. It's Cam Akers. He had a big run earlier in the game, and how about this one? And watch him finish it. 5'11", 215, runs right through the tackle at the back end to push it in the end zone. Wow.
Touchdown runs.
Strength, all of it, Tom. Package deal right there.
Dave, 54 yards on his first TD run of this quarter. 63 on this one, the longest of the freshman's first season here at Florida State. 21-7. We'll be back after these messages from Syracuse and Florida State.
Plays make it 21-7.
Naquan Murray had the touchdown reception. Akers now has 3 rushing touchdowns this year. Came into the day with just 1 and the 2 big rushing touchdowns. Dungy will hand it off to Strickland. Nothing available for Strickland. DeMarcus Christmas.
And the important thing to remember here now, if you're Syracuse, and I know you don't have to remind the players, but if you're a Syracuse fan, this is a Syracuse team that's come back. They come back in games. We saw it against NC State. They just don't like to dig themselves a hole where you're in it. So now you got to come back. They've got the people to get it done.
Dungy's pass to Ishmael, threaded between a couple of defenders. That's up beyond the 30, close to the 33-yard line. 8 yards on the pass to Steve Ishmael. Marshall and James and Taylor all there. Third and short. 4 of 10 on third down. Dungy's going to have to do it himself. Incomplete. Being dragged to the turf. Christmas all over him.
Probably not moving as well as he would normally move as Dungy with the foot injury. And I think they may. They call it an incompletion or a fumble here. Ball came out kind of strangely, but the ball didn't go out of bounds. But Dungy just not moving as well as he normally does. And Florida State taking advantage.
Hofrichter to punt for Syracuse. DJ Matthews deep at his 28. Has to backtrack at the 15. Flag comes out of the play. 52 yards on the punt, 4.5 seconds of hang time. Sterling Hofrichter.
I never touched him.
They get a late push right there in the back. Heck of a play on the tackle there for Syracuse.
Cordell Hudson making the play on special teams.
Hudson hustling down. Kind of an unsung job from time to time is that gunner on the outside. You have double team, fight through that.
So they pick up the penalty marker. Gary Patterson, we apologize for the difficulties with his microphone, working to rectify that. Florida State, it's been a while since there's been a losing season in Tallahassee. Dave, you have to go back to 1976, the first year for Bobby Bowden, the legend here at FSU.
Yeah, they're not thinking that way right now either. So, but yeah, it's been a long time since they've experienced some things that have happened to them this year.
In fact, they haven't lost 3 games in a row since 2011. They are working on a 2-game losing streak. On the road last week against Boston College, where they scored just 3 points. Not today. Rasul, right side. He's got a chunk beyond the 20. Rodney Williams on the tackle for the Orange, and a 7-yard gain. Amir Rasul, the sophomore from Miami, Florida.
You know, we watched tape on this Florida State team, and you kind of look at, we talk about the little things, blocks, your assignments. This offensive line has struggled a lot.
Yeah, you got to give them a lot of credit. Well, we watched a lot of film on them, and they were not getting to the second level on most of these runs. Today, they've changed the line of scrimmage and got to that next level, and that's where the creases happen and the big runs, obviously.
Rasul again. Christopher Frederick minus his helmet on the tackle, and a short gain for Rasul.
3-yard third down. This is where Syracuse has been. Only one team's been better in the country than Syracuse.
Florida State, 154 yards rushing, but they have not converted a third down. 0 for 3. That rushing mark well above their season average of 135, 13th in the conference. Today, they've turned up the heat on the ground. Blackman, nowhere to go. Started rolling that pocket immediately, and he's taken down.
Boy, good job, Tom, by Coleman. The edge rusher completely blows the play up. There's pressure in the face of Blackman.
Time for our Haviland defensive shield. Told you how good the Orange is on third down. And again, Florida State now, Dave, 0 for 4 in this game on third down.
Yeah, excellent job there to make the play and create a problem for Blackman, the young quarterback, and get off the field on third down.
Second in the nation, first in the conference on third down. Tyler punts. Riley waits. Bounce at the 45. He'll get away from it. That's a Knowles bounce inside the 30. To the 28-yard line. A punt of 55 yards. Let's check in with Katie and Charlotte, see what's coming up at halftime.
Well, coming up on our PNC Investments halftime, we're going to report, we're going to take a look at those 2 big ACC matchups, starting with NC State and Clemson, Stan.
Listen, if you like quarterback play, this game has 2 of the best young newcomers in this conference. Josh Jackson from Virginia Tech, Malik Rozier from Miami. And they have comparable numbers. Which one's going to make mistakes?
That's Virginia Tech, Miami. What about NC State?
Big games, a lot of times it comes down to special teams. Usually you think that's Virginia Tech's favor, but it's Miami's Braxton Berrios, 6th in the nation in punt returns.
For now, we'll send it back to you guys.
Katie, thank you. We look forward to the comments from the guys at halftime. 1st and 10 line presented by Cookout, serving fresh char-grilled hamburgers, 40 fancy milkshakes. There goes Dungy on the run, testing that ankle up beyond the 35, and he took the hit. 8 yards for Dungy. Trey Marshall made the tackle. Orange moving quickly. There's a flag out. Pass was incomplete.
Part of the problem, Tom, when you go so fast, and it's something they obviously practice, but that time a little bit too fast, didn't get everybody set. They talked to Charles Kelly and we asked him about the tempo and how do you prepare for the tempo. They have 2 huddles going. That's what they tried to practice. They said when they looked at the Syracuse offensive line are actually looking where the ball's placed, not to go find another block.
Dungy, sideline, too far. Sean Riley was the receiver Dungy was looking for down that sideline. Orange looking for their first road win of the season. Coach Baber's team 0-3 and 0-2 in conference away from the Carrier Dome.
Florida State showing a 3-man rush potentially here, dropping 8 into coverage. See if they stay with that number of players standing around.
Dungy has the first down and more, cuts toward midfield. Dungy to the 40 of Florida State. Eric Dungy on the design quarterback run, and he rips it off for 30.
Yeah, really took advantage of Florida State here to not stay in their rush lane. Dungy much quicker than you give him credit for. Good run.
Strickland takes it to the 35 so fast that the chains were not even set yet before Syracuse snapped that football. They got 5 yards on the play. There is a flag thrown in the Florida State secondary and close to the near sideline as well. Gary Patterson, our referee.
Too many players on the field, and they caught Florida State with too many on the field.
Illegal substitution against Florida State.
That's part of it when you start talking about tempo and you're trying to change personnel out. And Florida State did not get a defender off the field in time. And Dungy saw it. Dungy knows that's part of the package. If they're trying to sub and Syracuse is not changing personnel, the ball doesn't have to be held by the official. Dungy's going to get the ball snapped and try to catch you with too many on the field.
So 1st and 5 after the penalty. Dungy looking right. Ishmael creates separation. The catch. Steve Ishmael. Touchdown, Syracuse. 34 yards, Eric Dungy to Steve Ishmael. Second TD pass of the game for Eric Dungy.
Yeah, going to take advantage of the one-on-one opportunity. Again, this is Tavares McFadden, one of the top corners in the country. And Ishmael, the big receiver, creates some separation with a little bit of a push-off at the back end. But it's an excellent throw from Dungy to put up a big receiver up the back. He high points it, puts it in the end zone.
34 yards to Ishmael. Dungy now with 14 touchdown tosses on the season. Cole Murphy has the extra point. So Ishmael, 5th TD receiving on the season.
Now, big run by Dungy sets it up, and then Jock, you put up your big receiver, and he does a good job of creating a little bit of separation with a little push off the end.
And that's what it's all about. I talked to him earlier in the week, and I asked him one of the best parts of your game, and he said basically just catching the ball in traffic, and then also the nuances of the game. He has such a rapport with Eric Dungy. They trust each other. They know where they're going to be at all times. They do so much after practice, during practice, before practice. But he said his big attribute is catching in traffic. But also, he says, a lot of people have doubted him. So every time a ball comes his way, he looks at it as it's his last time to ever catch a football. So he's always about that opportunity and making it when it's there.
Well, Shockey, I think the key to that was to answer. I mean, we've seen Florida State with big play after big play. The key to your offense and staying in games, and maybe the resiliency of what Syracuse is their ability to answer that with a big play.
6 catches in the game for Ishmael for 86 yards and that TD of 34 yards from Eric Dungy. Ishmael, the senior from Miami, Florida, making the play for the Orange. They were moving quickly, and they've got their 2nd passing touchdown. A kickoff bouncing beyond the end zone. Well, the Orange has 1 win in this series, played 10 times. And it came back in 1966 at Archbold Stadium. on the Syracuse campus, Ben Schwartzwalder, the head coach of the Orange.
How about the great Denver Bronco, Floyd Little? Larry Zonka, the great Miami Dolphin. How about this guy right here? Who is that, Tom?
Tom Coughlin.
Yeah. Floyd Little, Tom Coughlin, and Larry Zonka. And the guy handing off there, that was Tom's grandfather. Tom Morgan's grandfather.
The only win for the Orange in this series back in 1966, and they've got a sack. That's their third of the game.
Robinson has been extremely active. He's the guy that was flagged earlier. He's going to come off this side right here. Just a blown assignment by number 74, Kelly, the left guard. Got to get a hat on Robinson, give your quarterback an opportunity. He didn't do it. Robinson planted Blackman.
Second in the game for Robinson. 2:35 to go in our first half. Akers trying to move that pile up near the 30-yard line, run into Bennett and Franklin, but did get 10. A timeout taken now by the Orange.
Lino going to burn a timeout, try to get his offense back on the field, which I think is a good idea. You got one of the best third down defenses in the country. Why not roll the dice with your defense? Give them an opportunity to get you the ball back.
21-14 Florida State, 2:23 to go in the second quarter. ACC Football Championship weekend is around the corner. Tickets to the Night of Legends on Friday before the game on sale now at theacc.com/Night of Legends. This year's class includes Syracuse Tom Coughlin, Florida State's Monk Bonsorti, and game tickets are still available on Ticketmaster. Don't miss out on all the festivities in Charlotte on Championship weekend.
That's a great evening to be around the legends of the game. That's pretty fun to spend the time. I had a chance to do that a couple of times. Well, you just keep your mouth shut and you listen to stories.
0 for 4 on third down for Florida State.
Double stack look, trying to create an opportunity for one of those receivers to come to the inside or an easy throw. There it is. Dropped. Boy, had exactly what they wanted. And Blackman, under some heat, makes a catchable throw to Murray. Got to catch the football. Going to get pressure. You know, you've got people coming, and he does a great job of standing in there. But this is a ball, if you're Murray, you got to catch that. That's third and short, third and medium. That extends the drive. And a good job by Jimbo to tee up second best third down defense in the country, and they pay him off.
Riley is the return man.
Riley playing way too deep, Tom.
He's at his 20-yard line, waiting for the Logan Tyler punt.
Got to come up and catch that.
He will come up to the 25 and get it on the hop. Riley to the 45.
He's very fortunate there, Tom, that he got the Sunday hop. He's playing way too deep. You got to come up, retreat on the ball, but it's hard to come and catch one. He got a good hop there and really turned into a nice return.
The punt was 45. The return was 21. So some time to work with for the Orange, trailing 21-14. 2:06 to go. Eric Dungy has a couple of TD passes in this game.
And Dungy, after being on the bench a good part of the first quarter after being hurt in that opening drive, has really come back and put together a nice... That interception was on his first throw, if I'm not mistaken, Tom. Derwin James picked him off. But since then, he's come back with a couple touchdowns.
Dungy will run it. Dungy had a key 30-yard run on the previous drive that ended up in a touchdown to Steve Ishmael on a pass from Dungy. Orange still with one timeout too, Dave.
Two timeouts, I believe, isn't it, Tom? Two timeouts for Syracuse. It says on the board 2 timeouts. Maybe they're wrong on the scoreboard here in the stadium here, Doak.
Confirming now that the Orange has 2 timeouts to work with as Dungy throws it away.
All right, now third down. Obviously, Florida State, their only goal here is to win on this down. But Syracuse with a short field situation after the Riley return would try not to squander this opportunity.
Dungy looking back to the left. There's nothing there. Gets away from one man. Steps into the throw down the sideline to Ishmael. Incomplete.
Boy, he bought as much time as he possibly could. I thought he stepped out of bounds along the sideline, but a good job of Dungy to step out of the tackle. But Florida State stays on coverage down the field. Let's see how close he is here, Tom. Whoa, I guess was the toe up and the heel, or the heel up and the toe down. Very close. But a good job in the back end by Florida State to stay on coverage, knock the ball away. Take a look at it. Yeah, this changes things because Syracuse has got their offense on the field on here on 3rd and 7 or 4th and 7. So they're going to take a look. Well, I can't tell. That's hard to tell. I think if his heel's on the ground, which you're almost guaranteed his heel's not on the ground throwing the football. He's on the run, so his heel's not on the ground, so he's on his toes. I don't think that indicates necessarily he's out of bounds, but it's close.
You must have indisputable video evidence to overturn the call, which on the field, Dave, is an incomplete pass.
That's correct. And it also, the key here, Tom, is that it's 3rd or 4th and 7, and Syracuse still has their offense on the field. If he's out of bounds, the ball's going to move back, I believe, somewhere around the 40-yard line. His heel's obviously off the ground in that look. You can see his heel is not down. He's on his toe. Yeah, it's going to be the other look that's going to determine whether he's out of bounds. You certainly get a double look. You understand that it's not an entire foot planted on the ground. So
Gary Patterson with the word. They are confirming that Dungy did stand out, or step out rather.
I didn't think it was that definitive. You could see that his heel was off of the ground. I didn't see his foot. It's close. There's no question it's close. But now that changes the dynamic completely. Not 4th and 7. Now it's almost 4th and 11, and Syracuse will punt the ball.
Indisputable video evidence to overturn the call, which was incomplete pass. They say he stepped out, Dave.
I didn't see the indisputable video evidence, as you so aptly remind us on this.
The letter of the law. Ball just inside the Syracuse 45. Sterling Hoffrichter, the sophomore punter from Valrico, Florida. DJ Matthews has handled the return duties. Maybe trying to figure out exactly what that clock should read on 4th and 10. That's how precise they need to be. 1 second added to the clock. Big plays, the difference for Florida State.
Man, really a blown opportunity for Syracuse that time on a short field, half the field.
Matthews lost the handle. Syracuse has covered at the 11.
There's no reason to try to make a play there if you're Matthews for Florida State. You got to fair catch the ball there. He's got a defender right in his face. You see Jimbo saying, "What are you doing? You're not going to make a big play. There's no time left on the clock." That's what he just said to him. Just fair catch the ball. We'll take it at the 10-yard line. Those are the kind of mistakes that Florida State has made this year that are driving Jimbo Fisher crazy. I mean, you're not going to make a play there. You're going to get tackled as soon as you catch it. Just fair catch that and scrimmage from the 10-yard line. Just a poor decision right there.
Shaheem Cullen.
Tom, they made one of those last week against Boston College. There was a play very similar to that, ball rolling on the ground, and Tavares McFadden decided to try to play it. Didn't get the ball, and BC took over inside the Florida State 10.
Huge break for the Orange as Cullen covered at the 11. Dungy will move back into a shotgun formation. Strickland behind him. Dungy's got the football. Twisting down the 5-yard line.
He felt like he was face masked there too, Tom. He looked up at the official yelling, "Hey, he got my mask." And a timeout by Dino. Dino's upset too. He thought there was a face mask on the play. He's all the way down to the 10-yard line.
5 yards on the run by Eric Dungy.
Florida State has really struggled to take the ball away, and as you see the giveaways, -11. When was the last time you saw Florida State -11 in the giveaway takeaway? But only 5 takeaways coming into today. They have one today and have given one away, so that number has stayed. The differential stayed the same.
Tough to win football games, and the evidence is in the record this season for Florida State, 2-5.
Well, their #1 goal now is to try to swell up defensively and force Syracuse here to kick a field goal. Golden opportunity now for Syracuse after everything that's happened to them. Their quarterback being out, giving up 3 plays of 50-plus yards. They got a chance to equal this game going in at halftime.
Strickland got it from Dungy. Moving laterally down the 5-yard line, maybe a yard or 2 for Strickland. Junior from Dayton, New Jersey, and a timeout taken by the Orange. It is their last.
A little surprised that Syracuse would burn the timeout right there. Got 1:03 left. Why would you not go ahead and run your normal operation? You're a speed offense anyway. You're going to be able to bleed the clock another 40 seconds.
Well, Eric Dungy's been the difference. They were down 14-0. He came in, and they have a chance to tie it up now. Fans, picture yourself at the 2017 Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship. Mellow Mushroom giving you the opportunity to be there. Visit mellowmushroom.com/ACC to enter for your chance to win the Mellow Mushroom VIP sweepstakes.
Yeah, Tom, a couple of potential elimination games today. Clemson taking on NC State in Raleigh here in a couple hours. And, of course, tonight, big matchup at South Florida as Virginia Tech travels down to take on the Hurricanes. And I would say probably a couple elimination games between those 4 teams going head-to-head.
Miami's undefeated. Virginia Tech just 1 loss, that at home to the Clemson Tigers. And the last year, NC State and Clemson went to overtime after the Wolfpack had a chance to win it in regulation on a field goal.
Well, the timeout meant you got your best play on the call here. And batted down at the line of scrimmage by Florida State. It's going to be a touchdown. Tommy's got Irvin Phillips coming inside wide open. And the ball gets batted down at the line of scrimmage. You can throw the ball. Look, he's got Phillips wide open, ball batted down. Christmas that elevated and batted the ball.
91 is Natty Day, so Natty had a chance at it too, the senior.
And Syracuse will go.
It's 4th down. Football's at the 4-yard line.
Well, that was the #1 play. Let's see what that #2 play. Florida State now going to burn a timeout. Make sure they're lined up properly.
Well, the Orange scored in their last 4th down attempt, the only one of the game, a 47-yard TD pass from Dungy to Jamal Custis. So a timeout, Florida State. So the last few minutes of this first half somewhat elongated now as the teams use their timeouts. This all started with the special teams miscue by Matthews, who was fielding the punt. And Syracuse got it back at the 11. They're trying to score now.
Well, this is a team that's very comfortable going for it on 4th down. You see, they 25 times they've gone for it on 4th down and have been pretty successful. 64%, pretty high percentage. Now you're looking at the 2 receivers. If you're Florida State, you're saying, okay, Ishmael and Irvin. And Irvin Phillips. I got to find those 2 guys. Those are his key guys. That's who he was throwing the ball to on 3rd down. He wanted Phillips coming to the inside. Will Florida State come with some pressure now to eliminate Dungy's ability to sort it out and have to pick one receiver out? The key to this now for Florida State is you got to stay in your lanes on your rush because Dungy could run it in.
On 4th and 3, Florida State wants to take its remaining timeout, and it will.
Well, and why not? They came out in a look that I think Florida State did not expect. Florida State expected them to be in a shotgun spread look. And the Syracuse came out in a conventional look, had a tight end in the game, had a running back in the game. Dungy was under center. I think I caught good job by Jimbo to burn the timeout because I don't think they were prepared for that look.
Florida State fighting history this year, Dave. 40 straight winning seasons. That's on the line. DJ, you got more from the sidelines.
You got talking about the possible plays on this particular play. Now, you saw him stretch the receiver way out to the bottom of the field, and you have to back offset. I know that Dungy's a little hurt, but maybe some type of option for him had to give him a chance to get on the corner. If they take him, then he's able to pitch it. But getting that extra guy outside the box gives him one more chance to get in the zone.
It's a good point, Shock. I think if you try to run horizontally against this defense, you're playing into their hands. I think Florida State runs so well. Here's Phillips right here. 4th and 3.
Dungy to his left, has to come back. Now looking to throw it. Dungy all the way back to the 30, lets it fly towards the end zone. Deflected, still up in the air, and finally hits the turf. It looked like Florida State tried to keep it alive and bat it back into the end zone.
And Jimbo Fisher's got his hands in the air. Why are you trying to catch that ball? Bat the ball down. It's 4th down. We get the football here. It's a run play. It's a design run for Dungy. Florida State's defense cuts it off. Now Dungy just trying to make something happen. It's 4th down. You have to just put the ball in play. Give one of your guys an opportunity. What a play there defensively to try to throw the ball back to the inside. And that's what Jimbo Fisher was so upset about. Just take the ball out of bounds. We don't need that play. Catch the ball, go out of bounds with it. We get the ball in 4th down anyway. But by throwing the ball back in bounds, it kept the ball in play for Syracuse to potentially make a catch.
How many players had a chance at that football? What a wild play to finish off this first half. Dungy, Dave, went all the way back to his own 30 before he got rid of it.
Well, he realized it's 4th down now. You can't be tackled with the ball. Just put somebody up the bat. Now, unfortunately for him, he threw it out of bounds. But a dumb play by Florida State to try to throw it back in.
Not his own 30, but back to the 30-yard line closest to him. The ball was at the 4. He went all the way back to the 30 and then finally threw it up for grabs in the end zone.
I'm not sure they need to snap the ball here. Blackman is up on the ball, but I think that the play clock is just a little bit more than the game clock. So yeah, they're not going to have to snap it.
Don't forget, we've got the PNC Investments halftime report coming up. Katie, Tommy, Stan, with our Charlotte studios. They'll preview the 2 big matchups coming up today, both in the Atlantic and the Coastal in the ACC.
Well, heck of a stop by Florida State at the end after the fumbled punt. Florida State's defense holds on 4 downs.
Yeah, they've got a lot of highlights to show us from Charlotte. Jimbo still talking to his players. They do have the halftime lead, 21-14. Big plays for Florida State. That was the answer. And for Syracuse, for that matter, too. A couple of TD passes from Dungy. And how about those TD runs from Cam Akers of 54 yards and 63 yards in the first half. James Blackman also threw a 51-yard TD pass to Naquan Murray.
Jimbo Fisher spending a little time with the officials, wanted to get some clarity on what was going on, but his team responded with, as you said, Tom, 3 huge plays and a gigantic defensive stand at the end to give his team the lead going in at halftime.
Jimbo Fisher's never lost to Syracuse. He's 4-0.
Jimbo working his way towards our DJ Shockley, who's standing in the back line here waiting on Jimbo Fisher.
All right, let's check in with DJ and Jimbo.
Hey, Coach, I know you're excited about your defense there to get that stop. What does it mean to get that stop at the first half?
Momentum stopper right there, not to get the points and keep the 7-point lead. And we got the ball coming out. Now we need to establish, go get some points, and start to push this game.
Big plays on offense in the first half. We want to be more consistent, I assume.
Much more consistent. Miscommunication on a couple little things with some of these youngsters, and then not giving a fair catch on the punt was very critical. So we got to get that fixed and then move on.
All right, Coach, thank you. Very competitive first half here. Florida State up by 7. Katie, take it away in the studio.
DJ, thank you so much. Yes, a very competitive first half, and that final.
Welcome to the Capital One Halftime Report.
Welcome to the Capital One Halftime Report. I'm Cassidy Hubbard. We have a great day of college football across our ESPN networks. Let's check in with our college football studio team.
Well, we always work hard on ball security, ball disruption. Well, now we got a turnover chain, and our guys get really excited about getting that thing.
They have kind of made their living off
creating turnovers.
Just got to make sure I make smart decisions with the ball and even take a sack if possible. What's really important is to make sure they don't get their turnover train out.
Given the turnover trend, we still got to get some chains here on set. This is how it looks right now. The top two by division, the ACC this weekend, and why these games are so enormous. NC State facing Clemson. As you can see, the Wolfpack 4-0 in the conference despite the 2 losses overall. And Miami so far unblemished both in conference and overall facing that Virginia Tech team. And from Miami right now, Hurricanes fans are saying, Jesse, not nearly enough respect when it comes to the rankings. Clearly they can get a lot if they beat Virginia Tech. How key is this defense going to be?
It's going to be huge, guys. I think coming into this year, we expected this front seven on defense to be one of the more talented front sevens in the country, and they haven't disappointed, guys. They're fun to watch. They're big, they're physical, they're athletic, but they're very, very smart. Very high football IQ up front on this D-line for Miami, and they do an outstanding job reading their keys. You start with Shaq Quarterman at middle linebacker. Here's going to be a quarterback run from UNC. 2 backside pulling blockers. Shaq Quarterman's keying the backside guard. He can anticipate where this ball is going to be, uses his speed, beats the ball to the point of attack, and it's a tackle for loss. The defensive line also does a great job of reading wide receiver screens. Top of the screen, UNC trying to set that screen up. All 5 offensive linemen are going to run out in front of the screen. So defensive end Chad Thomas, he's not going to rush the quarterback. He's just going to follow the offensive lineman because they take him to the football. He's able to key on the wide receiver, locate the ball, and it's a tackle for loss. Then the next play, you've got R.J. McIntosh, who I think is their best D lineman. Here's another wide receiver screen from Syracuse. R.J. McIntosh notices that there's a bigger than normal gap between the tackle and the guard. That's a tell. The tackle is going to run out ahead of the wide receiver on the screen. So don't rush the quarterback, just follow the tackle. He takes you to the ball, and it's another good play on defense. Virginia Tech's offense has so much misdirection with all the different running plays and the jet sweeps and the bubble screens and the wide receiver screens. It's going to be key in this game. If this Miami defense has success, they have to read their keys. They have to continue playing smart.
Malik Rozier is the quarterback for Miami. What's he facing in that Virginia Tech defense?
Well, we know Bud Foster is going to bring a lot of blitzes, an aggressive defense. Last week against North Carolina, the Miami offensive line, they struggled. Malik Rozier took a lot of hits, didn't complete a lot of his passes, but he did throw for 356 yards. If you're Virginia Tech, you sat down, you watched that film, you said, look, we can get after this quarterback. We're going to have a chance to get in the backfield. Defensively, the amount of time that they spend in Miami's backfield will be the key to this game, and it'll give them chances to create turnovers. They're aggressive with their blitzes. They'll give you different looks, 3-4s, 4-3 defenses, and you watch these linebackers, they come downhill. You rarely see these guys back up. They're coming. Defensive ends, athletic. Watch the move on the tackle, comes around the tackle before he gets a chance to even get a hand on him. So you put Malik Rozier in this situation where this D-line is coming and these defensive ends are beating the tackles just like North Carolina did last week against Miami. And Rozier gets put in a position where he's going to have to get the ball out quick. He's going to have to find a way to make some plays for this team to be successful. We've seen Miami play in some slow games. Only beat North Carolina, a team that has 0 wins in ACC, 1 win on the season, and they played them within 6 points, 5 points in that game last week. Jess, you mentioned that maybe they were sleepwalking. They better wake up in this Virginia Tech game or they could get blown out.
Miami can clinch the Coastal if they win and Virginia loses to Georgia Tech. Who do you like in this game?
I like Miami. It's for the reason Joey just said. Sleepwalking against UNC, but I think they're going to understand the brevity and how important this game is. A chance to lock up the division for the first time since they joined the ACC. Malik Rozier coming off his worst game of the year. They've struggled to get the run going, but I think they wake up, bounce back. They're looking for some respect, and this is the opportunity.
I wonder what they have emotionally because of these close games, because of having to go down and make plays against Florida State to finally win that game in the end. The plays against Georgia Tech to win in the end, the close game against North Carolina. These emotional games that you have to come back and win in the end, you just wonder what this team has left in the tank. If they play the same way against Virginia Tech, they won't be able to come back.
Sticking in the ACC, Clemson taking on that NC State team. The Wolfpack, as I mentioned, have lost a couple of games, but they're taking on this Clemson team that right now is number 4 overall, and the winner of this game has greater than a 95% chance to win the ACC Atlantic. 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Should be a ton of fun for Dabo Swinney's team as they try to lock it up against NC State. That game will be on ABC and also the ESPN app. And don't forget, a little bit later on, keeping that ACC theme going, Virginia Tech taking on the Miami Hurricanes, 7-0, their third 7-0 start since 2003. Back with more right after this.
North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lines on three. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for two teams with postseason expectations, both hungry for a marquee win to revitalize their seasons and jump back into the division title hunt. Monday Night Football. Lions, Packers, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
Wrestling sexiest superstar, Ric Flair!
Wrestling was his love. Then it became a disease.
He got really wound up in it. He could have his fantasy world and his family on the side.
What if I told you his life was never an act?
I'm the best there is! Nature Boy! Woo!
The Ohio State Buckeyes are the first national champions. Alabama back on top. Clemson Tigers, new kings of college football.
It's year 4 of the college football playoff era. 4 teams. 2 semifinals. New Year's Day. The college football playoff on ESPN. Who's in?
Curry, quick release on the three. Got it.
Sit down and stay humble.
Stephen Curry with some magic.
Coming off a statement win, you either build on the momentum or watch it fade to black.
Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight?
November college football with all the pressure of the playoff chase.
Classic NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lines on three. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for two teams with postseason expectations, both hungry for a marquee win to revitalize their seasons and jump back into the division title hunt. Monday Night Football. Lions, Packers, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
What is more important, resume or reputation?
Anybody can lose to anybody on a week-to-week basis.
How do your wins stack up? What if you're flying under the radar?
Forget the metrics, just who's a better team.
What if everyone believes they can get in? What if your time is running out? The College Football Playoff Top 25 Ranking Show, Tuesday at 7 on ESPN, presented by Goodyear.
Welcome back to the Capital One Halftime Report.
USF quarterback Quentin Flowers has led the Bulls to the program's first 7-0 start. And a victory today against Houston would be Flowers' 28th as starting quarterback, tying Matt Grothe for second place in USF history. But as Maria Taylor discovers, Flowers' road to USF has been paved in tragedy.
He's a battler. He's a fighter. He's got to this point in his life. There's something special about this kid. He has every reason in the world to not have a good day, yet he shows up every day with a smile on his face.
Play for each other. Yeah. Play for each other. That's the only thing we got out here. 1, 2, 3.
There's no excuse.
Quentin Flowers, first down and more. He breaks it.
He has taken so much strength from what he's been through, and he's used it and he's funneled it in a positive way.
Every day not promised. You know, you just got to cherish the moments because at the end of the day, you don't know when God will call for your number.
Quentin Flowers was introduced to football by his father, Nathaniel Sr., here in Miami's Liberty City neighborhood.
Growing up in Liberty City, how would you describe that?
You You know, a lot of killing, a lot of violence. Anything can happen at any time. And I just didn't want to be one of them kids, so I just tried to stay with football all around the year.
In 2000, at the age of 7, Quentin and his father were watching football and barbecuing in the front yard.
And I told him I'm gonna go to the restroom, I'll be right back. By the time I got in the house, I just heard everybody screaming. I didn't know what it was for, but I looked out the window and I just seen my dad face first on the ground.
And we seen, like, you know, ambulance coming. We seen the police is outside. We seen mom over my dad crying. And we was just standing there like we was kids. We didn't know what was going on. We just know my dad was there. Hours after that, we just seen them covering his body with a white sheet. And that was that.
It's just crazy because every time I come through here, it's like I see my dad. This is the place I've been, man. This is where I grew up. This is where I grew up. I could have got killed anytime. Anytime I want to be successful.
Quentin's father was killed by a stray bullet intended for someone else. His mother, Nancy, was left to raise him and his elder siblings on her own. Football became an escape.
We spoke about it, and he told me the situation, and I was like, whoa. And then I gave him my situation. I told him, hey, you know, I lost my father at the age of 11 years old as well. You know, he was due to gun violence as well.
What was the toughest part of that conversation?
Telling a kid that it's gonna be all right, knowing that it's not, you know?
Quentin became a top high school prospect heading into his sophomore year. When he first learned his mother's health was failing.
You know, my mom started to miss work. She always said she had something to do, and then she kept going in and out the hospital, in and out, and that's when I started to notice that something was wrong. Just knowing that another person in your life, not just your mom, your best friend, your #1 fan, everything you could think of is leaving you. It was just shocking. I couldn't believe that every time I was doing something right, something was getting taken from me.
Less than a year later, in January 2014, Nancy died from complications related to AIDS.
It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I get a phone call. He said, Coach. I said, what's up? And he was crying. I said, so what's going on? He said, I don't want to play football no more. I got in my car and I went over there. And, you know, I hold him. We talked for 2 or 3 hours.
Sat down and talked to me and told me, if your mom was still here, would you quit? And I was like, no. He was like, so why quit now? You know, this your way, you know, out of the hood.
That journey from Liberty City led Quentin to the University of South Florida.
Flowers looking long. He's got McCants. Touchdown Bulls.
He's playing more than just for his team. You know, he's thinking about his parents each and every day. He's thinking about his family. So now it's almost like this is how I'm repaying them.
They'd be so happy that I'm in college and not in the streets. I would say they'd be very proud of me.
Flowers has been no stranger to adversity. In 2014, before Flowers was slated to make his first collegiate start, he received another piece of news that left him speechless. Stepbrother Bradley Holt was shot and killed.
That'll do it for the Capital One Halftime Report. I'm Cassidy Hubbard. Stay tuned to the ESPN family of networks for all your college football coverage throughout the day. Enjoy the second half.
I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. Oh, baby, let's stay together.
Got to get those burgers off the grill.
Doug Flutie? Who threw the Hail Larry?
You mean a Hail Mary?
Tomato potato, man.
Those are two different words.
Let's go, Dr. Pepper Hip. Let's go.
Wrestling's sexiest superstar, Ric Flair!
Wrestling was his love. Then it be.
ACC football, a Saturday in Tallahassee, the Orange and the Noles putting on a great show in the first half. A 7-point difference, and Florida State has the lead at halftime. Tom and Dave with you. And Dave, that first half was all about big plays, none shorter than 34 yards for touchdowns between these teams.
Yeah, explosive plays, kind of what we thought. These are two teams that have guys that can make explosive plays. The quarterbacks have played well. It's been a fun first half.
You mentioned quarterbacks. We saw both of them for Syracuse, Mahoney and Dungy, who threw a couple of TD passes.
Yeah, Dungy got hurt early. Mahoney came in. I thought he held on to things a little bit, moved the team, was able to flip the field a little bit, but Dungy's the key to what Syracuse is going to do, and we know this is the play he got hurt on. Got the foot twisted a little bit, went back inside, came back out, got a retake and said, hey, coach, get me back in the game. And why not? Get him back in the game. Gets the ball to Jamal Custis for a big play on a broken coverage there. You see Dungy limps off the field here, but you know what? This guy's tough as nails. Pulls it down, 49-yard run, set up this throw to Steve Ishmael down the right sideline, and it pulled Syracuse within one score.
All right, Dave, time for our halftime stats, and they're brought to you by Dish.
Well, we talked about Syracuse, how they're good they are defensively on third down. That's held suit. They really a tough job by Florida State to kind of move the football. The turnovers kind of evened out. Florida State having a tough time taking care of the football. Let's go down to DJ, caught up with Dino Babers.
All right, Coach, you had some missed opportunities there in the first half. Obviously, I know those are ones coming back, but how's the health of Dungy and how you overcome those in the second half?
Dungy's fine. You know, we had a situation. We could have kicked for a field goal down there. It was a tough angle, but you're not going to beat these guys kicking field goals. And if we're going to try to win in a place like this, you're going to have to go for touchdown. It's a long second half. We played one entire quarter without our starting quarterback. Let's see what we can do with two quarters with our starting quarterback.
Defensively, though, they hit some big plays. Obviously, what were the issues there on those big plays they hit for the long runs?
One was a missed tackle. I think they're 0 for 5 on third down, but they've got so many explosive plays. They're in the game. Explosive plays count. We got to eliminate the explosive plays, keep playing the way we're playing, see if we can keep it close in the fourth quarter.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Big second half coming up. Syracuse getting the ball, fellas. Get a chance for them to tie this ball game up 21-all.
I love how calm Dino is. He's seen his team struggle in the first half. I think he's probably, Tom, excited about the fact that they're only one score down. I mean, how many times have they come out of the locker room down 21 points and had to storm back against LSU, against NC State? He's done a good job of keeping his team in the game this half, and really, this is the half Syracuse's own.
How about what he said about playing Florida State, Dave? Regardless of their record, you're not going to come to Tallahassee and win games by kicking field goals.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that there's, to a certain extent, you got to make sure you take points when you've got it. But I think if you're around midfield, stay aggressive. That's the mindset of his football team.
Ready to crank up the second half of the ACC Network, our game of the week, presented by Mellow Mushroom. Into the end zone, no return. Above the head of Rasul. 21-14. What a half for the freshman Cam Akers.
Boy, he has been outstanding. You're waiting for the speed to kind of burst on the scene, and you felt it here in the first half as Cam Akers was able to get along the sideline for the first of his two monster runs. Here's the second one, the power to blow through the arm tackle, and then the great speed. And I think the fans here at Doak Campbell got to be excited to see their freshman running back break out. 159 yards, 210 total for Florida State, 159 on the legs of that young man right there.
Best performance so far of his freshman season. And Akers right side and near the 30. McKinley Williams on the tackle, 5 yards on the play for Akers.
You know, when you look at the young quarterback, James Blackman, I think he's afforded himself pretty well. I think that he's done a nice job of taking care of the football. He's been under pressure the better part of the last quarter. I think he's done a good job of not putting the ball in harm's way. He has the one big touchdown to Murray that happened early in the game after a major penalty. I thought he was able to overcome that and make the big throw. But they've got to give this kid more time. He has the ability to hurt you.
Tough young man, 5 of 7 through the air, 57 yards, and that one touchdown that Dave spoke of to Nyquan Murray. Akers again on the carry for short yardage. Paris Bennett the tackle for the Orange, the senior from Detroit, Michigan.
Tom, this is where Florida State needs somebody along the wide receiver core to step up. Needs someone to make a play here to convert on third down. Over 5 on third down. No touchdowns in the third quarter. That's unheard of for a Jimbo Fisher team, but he needs one of his receivers to make a play here to extend this drive.
3rd and 3 from the Florida State 32-yard line for Blackman. Wants a receiver to make a play. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, just kind of an indecisive. You got a retrace route to the inside. Murray coming on the slant. I'm not sure it was a very clean. You see, and there's Jimbo talking to Matthews. He had a route where he came inside and came back out. I think it was a cloudy look for Blackman to know where to throw the football.
4th time of the game, 3 and out for the Seminoles. Riley, the deep man for Syracuse, stands at his own 25-yard line. Tyler to punt. Riley, fair catch.
Better job, Tom, of moving up. Riley was, remember, really deep in the first half, slid up and caught that ball, didn't allow it to hit the ground. Well, we talked about this Florida State defense, and their big-timers need to step up. Derwin James made that happen in the opening drive with an interception, and then his ability to flow sideline to sideline and make tackles. That's why he's an All-American, one of the best players in the country. A guy that could play in the back end, play down in the box. They're going to need Derwin James to make some plays in this game. He affects the game. The 2 tackles, a little bit deceiving. He affects the game so much because you got to direct traffic away from that guy.
52 tackles on the season, 2nd best for Florida State. Dungy collapses at the 30-yard line after a yard.
Started out with a fake jet sweep, try to get Dungy going in the run game. Had a big run there right at the end of the first half. It kind of bottled up. Had the injury, hadn't run much. Got a 49-yard run there right before the half.
Dungy threw for 125 yards and 2 TDs in the first half. Dances out of the pocket. Dungy looking down the field. Incomplete beyond the 40 as Strickland was trying to make the grab going out of bounds at the 42.
Yeah, Strickland does everything right, but he doesn't catch the ball. Good job by Dungy to scramble out. Strickland works back to his quarterback. Does a good job. Boy, just drops the football. Well-thrown ball right along the line. Still squeeze it, and here you are now, 3rd and long, and this is where Florida State feeds on you defensively because they can give you kind of the exotic look. Now, the last time Florida State went to this 3-down look, they got 3 linemen that are going to go into down stance. These 3 guys right here, they were able to hurt him in the run. They hurt him in the run game.
Dungy, Dave, again, near the 40, breaks the tackle across midfield, and Dungy out of bounds inside the 40 for the Orange.
Same thing happens again. They go run game against this soft look defensively. This three-man rush. Get 1 block on the outside, and then Dungy, outstanding runner, pierced the tight end, got the block that sprung him around the edge. But that 3-down look, what Syracuse has decided to do on 3rd down is to run the ball with the quarterback. Successful back-to-back plays.
29 yards on the scamper from Dungy.
I don't know if Dungy and are going to run this clock down.
Another 2.
A timeout. Nope.
This dude get it away, throw it into the flat. Irvin Phillips made the catch.
Very, very interesting. That was kind of strange. Syracuse much more of an up-pace guy team. They like to run a play between 18 and 21 seconds every time. That time took the play clock all the way down. and snapped it right at the end and threw the screen outside for a nice pickup on first down.
5 catches now for Irvin Phillips. Just 1 to go to tie the Syracuse all-time record held by Alec Lemon.
Now, once again, taking their time here. Sean Lewis calling the plays from the sideline. Offensive coordinator.
Dungy with the time down near the goal line, knocked away at the last second. Levante Taylor as Ishmael adjusted to that thrown football.
Boy, that's a nice play by Taylor too, because this is an underthrown ball purposely by Dungy. Taylor does an excellent job to locate the ball and knock it out with the right hand. He could have easily overrun that play, and Ishmael could have just backed his way into a catch there, but Taylor does a nice job of finding it. The sophomore bats it away.
Syracuse close to the 30 with Dungy. They needed to get right to that 30-yard line for the first down, Dave. The Sticks are still in position.
Yeah, I think Tommy, I think he's there.
There's a Florida State player shaken up.
Looks like Burns, the defensive end.
It is Brian Burns, number 99, sophomore, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So the chains have moved, so it is enough for a first down.
See if we can take a look. Here's Burns right here. He's got rolled up from behind, looks like. Burns, one of those guys that had an incredible year last year as a freshman. 9.5 sacks, a freshman All-American. Really excited about him coming into this year. They just haven't made the plays in the backfield they played last year, Tom. This is a defense that had 51 sacks and 95 tackles for loss a year ago. And if you look at those two categories this year, only 11 sacks, 40 less sacks. Now, we haven't played out the whole year yet, and only 45 tackles for loss. This guy is a big part of that. Got a bright future. I'd like him to add about another 15 pounds, but he's about 230, 235. Out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. No sacks from a year ago. Just haven't made as many of those negative plays along that defensive side of the ball that they did a year ago.
Clock's rolling in the third quarter. Syracuse just got a first down. Dungy drops it off. Devin C. Butler on the catch. 6 yards.
Zone coverage. You see McFadden turn him loose. Butler going to come underneath, and this is a nice tackle by Myers in open field to get him on the ground, or he was going to run for a first down. Much more deliberate here from Syracuse, Tom, with the play calling, making sure they get the right look based on what Florida State's showing them.
Dungy, Strickland. They got him around the ankles and stopped him at the 25. Trey Marshall, tackle for Florida State.
Well, sometimes you think you've got the right play called, and you know what? The other side's just a little bit better than you are on an athletic standpoint. Certainly on that play. Marshall, nice play to play the option play out of the shotgun. Forced third down now. Now Dungy, they got to be aware of Dungy pulling the ball down.
There he goes into the pile. Stopped just inside the 25. No gain.
Yeah, this is a stalemate at the line of scrimmage. Give Florida State a ton of credit in the middle there. Nowhere to run. It's just kind of a power play. And a good job of forcing Dungy to try to redirect. And his foot bothering him. Tough guy, though. Back in the game. Comes their field goal unit.
Well, it looks like Coach Babers will need at least one field goal.
And don't forget now, the guy that's a holder is Mahoney, the quarterback.
Cole Murphy's attempt from 48 yards in the first quarter was blocked by Matthew Thomas. So this is second attempt. He's 0 for 1. From 42 yards away. And it's good from Cole Murphy. 56th career field goal from Murphy. Makes it 21-17. Murphy connects. Syracuse points in the third. Back to Tallahassee in a moment.
NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lines on three. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for two teams with postseason expectations, both hungry for a marquee win to revitalize their seasons and jump back into the division title hunt. Monday Night Football. Lions, Packers, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
Wrestling sexiest superstar, Ric Flair.
Yard line and a first down, but Blackman is shaken up.
But Tom, how about the kid standing in? He's got to wait. This is a play that takes some time. Watch the kid. You talk about guts now. He's going to stand in there. He's going to wait. Takes a huge shot at the back end by Coleman and gets the ball to his tight end. What a nice play by the youngster, the quarterback. Well, you talk about toughness now. He's going to stand in there. Knows he's going to take a shot, but waits for his tight end to clear and converts on fourth down.
First catch of the game for Ryan Izzo. From the 28 of the Orange. Akers submarined. And he'll lose a few. Harris Bennett, number 30. Loss of 3. Blackman, numbers today, making his 7th start of the season. That's the most by a freshman quarterback in the history of Florida State. Second and 13 after the loss on first down. Akers trying to get around the corner, lost the handle, went out of bounds.
Kelly
on the carry. Zaire Franklin in pursuit. All over Akers.
Now Syracuse has swelled up a little bit against the run here in the last couple plays, Tom. And here's Zaire Franklin, one of the best linebackers in the country. Rips the ball out.
So there is a Florida State player down. So we'll check on Derek Kelly. We'll step aside for just a moment. 21-17 Florida State.
Classic NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lines on three. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for two teams with postseason expectations, both hungry for a marquee win to revitalize their seasons and jump back into the division title hunt. Monday Night Football. Lions, Packers, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
Wrestling sexiest superstar, Ric Flair.
Wrestling was his love. Then it became a disease.
He got really wound up in it. He could have his fantasy world and his family on the side.
What if I told you his life was never an act?
I'm the best there is! Nature Boy! Woo!
Quick release on the 3. Got it.
Sit down and stay humble.
Oh! Stephen Curry with some magic.
Coming off a statement win, you either build on the momentum or watch it fade to black.
Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight?
November college football with all the pressure of the playoff chase.
Ford dealer.
All things ACC are a click away.
Dives for the end zone!
Oh my goodness, what a pass! Customize your experience for scores, stats, highlights, and news. The ACC mobile app, presented by Outback.
Back to the action, 21-17, inside of 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Gavin.
Pass complete to Gavin.
You got introduced to Zaire Franklin right there, one of the best backers in the country. Franklin, the deep zone coverage that time, just a three-man pass rush by Syracuse, and Gavin just going to come underneath and say hello to Mr. Franklin.
Fourth catch of the game for Keith Gavin, the sophomore from Crawfordville, Florida.
Gabbard, Jackson, and Aguayo on.
So a field goal attempt now, Ricky Aguayo. This is going to be from 49 yards away. Aguayo from 49, hugging that post. He's got it.
It's up, it's good. Florida State 24, Syracuse 17.
Florida State goes up 24-17. The Westcott Building on the beautiful FSU campus. And we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. Hey fans, the ACC VR app is now loaded with 360 videos from your favorite football stadiums, courtesy of Haviland. Want to be that close to the action of the Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship? Haviland giving you a chance to win their 360 Experience sweepstakes. Enter at accsweeps.havilandpromotions.com. Great look at Bobby Bowden Field, Doak Campbell Stadium. Opened back in 1950. Let's get a preview of Georgia Tech and Virginia as we go back to Charlotte.
Thank you, Tom. Our Hardee's update is coming up in Charlottesville, Virginia at 3 o'clock. Georgia Tech taking on Virginia.
Can the Virginia passing attack get back on track? Ben Kirk throwing for 51 and 52% the last 2 weeks. Georgia Tech, don't turn the ball over. 10 giveaways this year.
Just about 10 minutes away from kickoff in Scott Stadium. We'll be keeping our eyes on it for you guys.
Georgia Tech has won 4 of the last 5 meetings between the schools. Virginia beat them 2 years ago, that in Charlottesville. Dungy's pass to Phillips is complete. It's his sixth catch, Dave.
Good first down throw against the zone. Phillips works back. Good first down play.
One more catch, and Phillips will set the school record.
How do you know it's zone? Look how far inside the slot defender is. He's not coming out here on this slot defender. So you look at zone, or the corner's looking inside. A lot of things you look at when you try to find zone.
On second and short, Dungy's pass is incomplete. Boy, that looked like a good chance for Irvin Phillips to catch it and run with it.
Phillips gets up, kind of moving that, kind of fell awkwardly on that right arm, kind of flexing that right arm, shoulder.
And that is something you hardly ever see. Phillips.
Now man coverage from Florida State.
Dropping that pass right in his breadbasket. 7 of 17 on third down, and this one falls to the turf. Dungy looking for Phillips. Dungy.
That's one time you'd like to think that Dungy, but if he didn't have the knee or the foot injury, would have taken off on. But because he's hobbled a little bit, he decided to dump the football. It's only third and about 3 yards, and he decided to try to flip it over the top and just didn't get connected.
Matthews back to field the punt. Remember, Matthews had trouble with one late in the first half, and that allowed Syracuse to knock on the door. They could not walk through, though, after getting the ball back at the Florida State 11 after the miscue. Matthews again fields it on an in-between hop. And takes it up past the 35 to the 36. Cullen made the tackle. 45 yards on the punt, the return of 12 yards. Fans, your local Toyota dealers want to take you to the 2017 Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship game. Visit the ACC.com/Toyota tickets to enter for 2 tickets and a pregame photo on the field at Bank of America Stadium. Make your plans for December 2nd. Clemson Tigers, the 2-time defending champs.
If they get back to getting Akers the football, he's had some success.
That's what they'll do, but during the course of the play, flags are out.
And again, we apologize for the technical difficulties with the microphone of referee Gary Patterson, but the penalty goes against Florida State. Dave, how about the performances we've seen and somewhat unexpected from some running backs this year? A.J. Dillon from Boston College, Darren Hall from Pittsburgh, and now Cam Akers is running wild.
Well, I don't know that you could necessarily consider this a surprise because you knew he was going to be your featured runner, but absolutely, we've seen some guys burst on the scenes. And I guess it's because us in the building. They need us in the building to have these breakout performances, but Akers going to have to be big now for Florida State down the stretch.
He's having a career day with 179 yards rushing. The catch is made. It's Akers up to midfield and just barely tripped up on the play. Christopher Frederick might have saved some points, Dave.
Watch for the key block now, right out in front. Going to get a key block right there. The player on the ground, it looked like Paris Bennett on the ground. That was the key block that allowed Blackman to have a clean throwing lane to get the ball to Akers, and then Akers, when he turned, nobody in front of him. Big pickup on after that penalty.
18 yards. Akers the catch and run from midfield. Little misdirection, the pitch. Akers puts that shoulder down and absorbs some contact at the 45. Hard-earned 6 yards as he collided with Rodney Williams.
Second time they've had success with that play. Tom, make it look like they're going to run to the short side of the field, and then that option pitch to the outside with the offensive tackle in front. Good first down pickup. Florida State now having more success on first down, which is putting more pressure on Syracuse defensively.
Dave, you can see those shots. We're going right into those face masks. These guys are putting out all the effort they can in this matchup today, Florida State and Syracuse. Remember, Florida State's been to 35 straight bowl games, and they need some wins in a hurry if they want to get back to the postseason. The crowd wants a penalty. The officials do not agree.
Well, Scoot Bradshaw makes the play. He's been a little banged up this year. Tight coverage on the outside.
It's Erman Lane, the receiver, Dave, for Florida State.
Yeah, Lane's an interesting story too. Started out as a safety this year, was a wide receiver his first couple of years at Florida State. Because of the injury, Lane's had to slide back to wide receiver. Good play by Bradshaw.
So on 3rd and 4, we check out the cookout fast facts. Trouble for Florida State. Syracuse solid on 3rd down.
Well, that's who they've been. They've been very good. Second in the country coming in on 3rd down, and that's exactly who they've been today.
Just 1 for 9 in the game for the Seminoles. Blackman, pressure comes. He gets rid of it. It's just too far for the receiver, Keith Gavin.
Tommy's got to let it go just a count too soon, and so he's got to anticipate the throw. He's got man coverage on this corner route. He feels the pressure coming and just overthrows the ball. He'd have been able to sit there a count longer. This might be a touchdown. Boy, Jimbo he says, put a little air under it. Young man, put a little air under it. Boy, it was fun talking to Jimbo yesterday. He loves coaching. He loves. And think about how many young guys he's had to coach. From Jameis a couple years, he had DeAndre last year. He's got this kid this year in Blackman. Well, it's been a young quarterback for him over the last several years.
Riley at the 10 with the successful fair catch on a punt of 34 yards from Logan Tyler.
You can even sprinkle in the transfer Deshaun Golson, who came in from Notre Dame. He didn't know the system. Had to coach him through the system.
All right, let's head down to DJ for Gatorade. Heard around the cooler. DJ?
One guy we've talked about a lot today is Derwin James, and I had a chance to talk to him. We've seen him all over the field. He plays safety, he plays linebacker, he plays the nickelback. So I said, how do you prepare for playing all the positions? He said, I do a unique thing. I have homemade walkthroughs at his house where he literally puts down pillows, and then he mentally goes through the concept of, if I'm playing nickel, if I'm playing linebacker or safety, how do I train my eyes versus certain sets? So I thought it was pretty cool, a homemade walkthrough at home to prepare himself each and every week for each position he's going to play throughout a game.
The versatility Derwin James brings to the table is going to have to come to the forefront for Florida State here as we start to close in towards the 4th quarter. Only 40 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. You're right, Shock. You look at his freshman year real quickly, Tom. 91 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 9.5 tackles for loss. His All-American year 2 years ago. Hurt the knee, trying to get back to being that guy, close to being that guy again.
Steve Ishmael just made his 7th catch of the game. There's a catch by Irvin Phillips. And that catch is going to set a Syracuse record all time in receptions. 7 catches in the game. That's a new Syracuse record with those 7 catches, and he's not stopping. There's number 8. Got 7 yards on that one. Yeah, 8 catches for Phillips in this game. So he's got 203, and that is a new Syracuse record.
So his last 2 catches, he's broken a record.
All right, 4th quarter straight ahead. What a game it has been between the Orange and the Noles. 24-17. The 4th is next.
What day is it?
NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lights on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for 2 teams with postseason expectations. Both hungry for a marquee win to revitalize their seasons and jump back into the division title.
Statement win. You either build on the momentum or watch it fade to black.
November college football with all the pressure of the playoff chase.
Back in Tallahassee to start the 4th quarter. Irvin Phillips, a new Syracuse record, breaking that of Alec Lemon.
Oh, nice run.
That's Mo Neal, Dave. So these are the last 2 catches. So there's the record setter. And then, Dave, as you said, his next catch, he breaks his own record, right?
Another record. By the way, Irvin, don't fall asleep on your record, because Steve Ishmael is right behind you. He's got 187 catches. He's coming as well.
Those guys have combined, Dave, for 390 career catches, the most of any duo in the football bowl subdivision. Dungy on the run, and he falls down short of midfield.
Yeah, nice job by Eric not to throw. That was going to be a contested throw down the field. Decided to pull it down and get what he could get on 1st down. Good decision. Got a short field situation right here for Syracuse. Got to take advantage for Dino Babers in this offense.
12 rushes for 88 yards for Eric Dungy.
Phillips right here.
That's a low snap. He fields it. Phillips had a defender all over him.
Yeah, and Tom, the low snap means the throw's late, because he had to reach down for the low snap.
Our 3rd quarter stats brought to you by Tums. Who needs some Tums today, Dave?
Well, right now, Eric Dungy needs Tums if you're going to snap the ball on the ground to him. But when you look at the numbers, look at this number right here. These 2 numbers for Florida State: yards on 3rd down and 1 for 10 on 3rd down. Boy, Syracuse done a nice job.
7 of 18 on 3rd down for the Orange. Trying to get to midfield, just a little bit short of it by a yard.
I think that they're going to go for this time.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Florida State has gone another 3rd quarter without scoring a touchdown. Have not scored one in the 3rd all season.
Now, Florida State's been pretty strong if you try to run the ball through the middle. We see a lot of defenders crowded in the middle for Florida State.
4th and 1 for the Orange. Quickly diving for midfield.
Boy, he just barely got there if he did. I think he thought he had Florida State offside.
Brian Burns was there to meet Dungy.
Yeah, I think they snapped the ball quick here. Florida State jumps in. Now watch the ball pop up. I think they thought they had Florida State offside, and I don't think Dungy got there. I don't think he got there, Tom.
Take a close look at the right knee. Down. Where's the football?
Yeah.
That line, unofficial, Dave, but it appears he might be a little bit short.
Yeah, based on where they've got it spotted, he's short of the 50. He had to reach the 50 for the first down. I think he's going to come up about 2 or 3 inches short here.
It was 4th and 1 for the Orange. First down, Florida State. Syracuse turns it over on downs.
I think Dungy got surprised a little bit on that play, Tom, because I think the center snapped the ball thinking he had a defender in the neutral zone and didn't get the call. And I think you obviously can't review a penalty, but it certainly looked like, to me, potentially looked like maybe Noddy over the center was in the neutral zone on the play.
Close play all around for both Florida State and Dino Babers and the Orange.
A lot of times when you turn over on downs, offensive coordinators like to take a shot, Tom. Let's see if there's a play-action shot play here. Murray, the speedster's right up here. He caught the big touchdown in the first quarter.
Best starting field position of the game for Florida State. Blackman on the play action. Down the sideline. It's too far.
Exactly what I thought. Jimbo going out, going for the throat on the play. He had a play action, had a wheel route down the sideline. Ball thrown out of bounds. No chance for the receiver to catch the ball.
Keep in mind, Florida State working on a 9-game winning streak in this series. The only win for the Orange against Florida State came back in 1966, the first ever meeting between these two teams. 37-21 was the final at Old Archbold Stadium. Akers runs into the waiting arms of Kendall Coleman, the sophomore from Indianapolis, Indiana.
And good job by Syracuse, because you got to figure they had a thought, okay, let's not get caught up in this quick change. We lost the ball and get our defense on the field, get caught on a big play. They did a good job of not getting caught on the big play, get a stop on second down, and here you go. You forced another 3rd and long situation for Florida State.
Just 1 for 10 on 3rd down of the game for Florida State. Again, they're 12th in the conference, 34% of the season on 3rd down. And this was their best starting field position. They've only advanced the ball a yard. 3rd and long. Blackman, the deep drop, the pressure right at his grill, and the pass comes up short.
Robinson, I believe that's Robinson again in the backfield. Number 94 has been camped out in the Florida State backfield. He's gotten to know James Blackman pretty well. Big hit on 3rd down.
Yeah, he's got 2 sacks in the game, Dave. Alton Robinson, sophomore from Converse, Texas.
Well, how many times he knocked him to the ground, too, Tom? You talked about the 2 sacks, but I'll bet he's got another 3 or 4 that he's knocked him to the ground just like that.
A lot of punishment administered to the young man, James Blackman.
Well, nice stop by Syracuse defensively, Tom. Short field opportunity, got the stop on 3 downs.
Riley on the bounce, grabs it in traffic. I'll tell you what, we've got some brave return men out on that field. 41 yards on the punt, just 2 yards on the return. Outside of the stadium, the statue of Bobby Bowden, the legend. Couple of national championships to his credit.
ACC football is brought to you by Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By your local Chevy dealers. By Haviland Motor Oil, official motor oil of the ACC. Keep going. By Dish. And by Mellow Mushroom, out of this world pizza.
The rich tradition of Florida State football that includes 3 national championships, 93, 99, and 2013 when they beat Auburn 34-31 in the BCS championship game. Jameis Winston, Heisman Trophy winner. Also Charlie Ward back in 93. Chris Wenke, who was on the 99 national championship team, Heisman Trophy winner in 2000. 2nd and 5 for the Orange. Dungy cuts his losses and falls to the turf.
I like the switch up. Florida State had been playing a lot of zone coverage on first and second down, Shock, and all of a sudden now a couple of man coverage situations with him backed up makes Dungey hold the ball.
It does, and I think you got to add to the fact that Dungey hasn't moved around as much as he probably would if he wasn't as injured. But talk about the toughness of Dungey here. We've seen the knee, we've seen the ankle, and he's still out here fighting, competing, giving his team a chance to win.
On third down for Dungey. Tries to put some touch under it. Looking for Devin C. Butler. We've got penalty flags.
Yeah, if this is holding, they're going to catch a break because I don't think that ball was catchable.
McFadden was back defensively for Florida State.
I'm not sure this ball's catchable. They're going to call PI on this, and Jimbo's got an argument here. He's standing out on the field. Going to get McFadden.
Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties, but Gary Patterson indicates it's against the Noles.
Yeah, watch where this ball hits now. McFadden, I thought if he called him for holding, I believe that. But there's no chance that he catches this ball. Ball's out of bounds. I mean, I think Charles Kelly's got an argument. That's not a catchable ball. I think he held him. Now, it should have been a 5-yard holding call. I don't think it was pass interference.
Based on our replay, Dave, I would agree wholeheartedly with you. Penalty against the Noles.
And Dungey can't forget Ishmael now. He's gotten kind of hung up on throwing the ball to the short side. Got to find Ishmael and get him the ball.
Dungey through the progression, nothing available. Escaping the pocket, and he'll take a moment to get up. I mean, Dungey, who has been called a warrior time and time again by his head coach, Dino Babers, appears that he is in some discomfort. Again, we showed you in the first half had to lead with the right ankle issue. They put a brace on his knee, taped up the ankle. He's thrown a couple of TD passes, but he has really...
Ishmael right there, Tom, up top.
Dungey again stepping up. Trying to throw it off to his right to Phillips as a safety valve.
Now, Florida State's turned up the pressure a little bit on him, Tom. That front four now, maybe even 5, rushing the passer, are starting to get in there. Sweat coming off the edge. Or I'm sorry, that was Thomas. Matthew Thomas coming off the edge. Sweat to the inside. He almost made a critical mistake right there. Did not see the Florida State defender. So now 3rd and long.
Fellas, one thing to really take a look on is you see the brace on the right knee of Dungey. And as a quarterback, you have to step and push off that back right foot and right knee. And right now you can tell he hasn't really had a lot of confidence pushing off that back knee to get velocity on the football.
3rd down for the Orange after the backward pass by Dungey. Strickland on the carry.
Yeah, that play right there might be more indicative of Dungey's injury than anything else.
Yeah, very conservative.
A run draw play on 3rd and 11. Defense is playing extremely well. Dino knows that, so he's going to play to what the defense has been doing for him today. Be willing to punt the ball here and try to get a stop.
Off Richter to punt to DJ Matthews.
Matthews has great speed now, Tom. This guy could really run if he catches it cleaner.
He's at his 32. Fair catch. And made 37-yard line. 34 yards on the punt. Just over 4 seconds of hang time. Florida State will have the football with James Blackman when we come back.
Classic NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lines on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for two teams with postseason expectations. Both hungry for a marquee win to revitalize their seasons and jump back into the division title hunt. Monday Night Football. Lions, Packers, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
Wrestling's sexiest superstar, Ric Flair!
Wrestling was his love. Then it became a disease.
He got really wound up in it. He could have his fantasy world and his family on the side.
Went 63 yards, both in the second quarter for Akers. He'll run it again, turn the corner, run over a defender, and up near midfield. 12 bruising yards from Cam Akers.
Well, good decision by Akers. Stretch play, looking for a crease, found it, now put the foot in the ground. There you see it drive straight through the hole, now finish with power. Runs right through the safety, Rodney Williams.
Hard running.
Dave, 19 carries, 197 yards. Cam Akers. And that is a season high for the freshman from Clinton, Mississippi. Blackman, complete on the seam. Going through the Syracuse D. Erman Lane.
Tom, this is an excellent play by Erman Lane. He's going to uncover for his quarterback. He slides inside Zaire Franklin. He was initially covered. He slid inside. Blackman was on the same page with him. He put it on him, and then Erman Lane run after the catch. Outstanding. Talked about this kid played defensive on the defensive side early in the year, made the switch to safety a year ago, or defensive back a year ago. They had to move him back to wide receiver, which is where he was his first couple of seasons here at Florida State.
Just his second catch of the season for 28 yards for Lane. And now Akers down the sideline. Not afraid of contact at all. 5 yards, Cam Akers.
Akers on the perimeter. He's made had a lot of running room on that outside. Done a good job of getting to the perimeter as Cam Akers.
Dave, with that rush, he's gone to 201 yards rushing today. Amazing.
Yeah, he stepped up when they really needed him. Tom, this is an offense kind of searching for its identity. Made a lot of mistakes and not been able to run the ball consistently. Came into the game averaging just 134 yards a game on the ground. But they've upped that big time with the freshman.
He gets it again, but he's stopped. He is stopped by McKinley Williams.
McKinley Williams came in with 4 tackles for loss. Excellent penetration. And is able to track Akers down before he can really get the motor running. And a big play on first down.
First trip to the red zone today for Florida State, but after the loss, it moves the football back to the 24-yard line. And it's third down where the Noles have struggled today.
Erman Lane was the guy that made the play for him earlier. Who's going to step up from the receiver corps and make a play?
1 of 11 on third down. It's going to be a rush with Akers. Has to find an alternate route. Gets close to the 20, but he needed to get down close to the 13-yard line, so well short, only 2 yards.
And I like the call by Jimbo Fisher. He realizes a field goal puts him up 2 scores right here. He's got one of the better kickers in the country. So he's going to settle in and take the 3. Didn't put his quarterback in a 3rd and long situation, a chance to take a sack, to move him back, or throw an interception there. So good play calling, trying to protect his young quarterback with the play call.
So Aguayo comes in for the field goal attempt. He's made 13 of his last 14, including the 49-yarder in the 3rd quarter. This from 38 for Aguayo, and he just made it. 38-yard connection, Ricky Aguayo.
Well, the schedule is cut. He knows exactly what he needs to do. He's got to go score. Eric Dungey next.
Classic NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lines on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for 2 teams with postseason expectations, both hungry for a marquee win to revitalize their seasons and jump back into the division title hunt. Monday Night Football. Lions, Packers, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
Wrestling's sexiest superstar, Ric Flair!
Wrestling was his love. Then it became a disease.
He got really wound up in it. He could have his fantasy world and his family on the side.
What if I told you his life was never an act?
I'm the best there is! Nature Boy!
SEC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. What a football game into the 4th quarter. Ricky Aguayo just connected on his 2nd field goal to make it 27-17. As these teams are going toe-to-toe.
Yeah, it's been an entertaining game. Both teams have had their moments. Both defenses have made some plays from time to time. Both quarterbacks have shown how tough they are.
Just the second time this season that Florida State has led going into the fourth quarter. In fact, they have not trailed this afternoon to the Orange in the 11th all-time meeting between these two programs.
Well, the tempo now will have to get back to Syracuse type of tempo, Tom. We saw them use some time in that drive in the third quarter where they worked the ball down and it's ultimately settled for 3. But now they're going to have to get back to the high-octane, up-tempo. Shock, I don't expect them to spend a lot of time at the line of scrimmage in this series.
Not at all. You still got tons of time in this ball game, over 6 minutes. You still got 3 timeouts. The biggest thing is here, try to get some type of points on the board. Whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, it still gives you a chance to go back and try to stop them again.
Yeah, imperative they get points here.
331 yards of total offense for the Orange. They're third best in the ACC. They average 455 yards per game of offense. Dungy, a big reason why. He's spun down just beyond the 25. Maybe 1 for Dungy.
Yeah, those interior guys for Florida State have done a nice job of really kind of slow rushing Dungy. They've stayed at home for this zone read type of run. And when he's pulled it down, they've been standing there waiting on him. His numbers so far throwing the football, and then the rushing numbers there out on the right side.
Dungy, who's run for over 1,000 yards in his Syracuse career. That was intended for Phillips.
Yeah, Derwin James. Derwin James comes in and makes a play. They line him up on that type receiver on Urban Phillips. He's the kind of the go-to guy, Tom, when you start talking about it. I need somebody to make a play. I need Derwin James.
That's why.
3rd and 9. 7 of 20 on 3rd down. Dungy's pass. First down, Orange to Phillips.
Yeah, and that time they took Derwin James off of Phillips. Excellent job of getting inside. Once he won over the top of the defender, he knew he needed to create a throwing lane, so he bends it back to the inside, and Dungy on the same page.
18 yards on the 10th catch of the game for Urban Phillips. They go to Strickland. Spinning moves. He may have back-to-back first downs for the Orange inside the 45. James and Thomas have to bring him down.
Well, that's a nice catch by Strickland, too, because Dungy takes him back to the outside with the throw and does a really good job extending his hands and squeezing the ball. Nice run after the catch.
Dave, there is a Florida State player shaken up behind the play. It's Trey Marshall. He's number 20 and a senior. Appears to be favoring that left arm. Pointing at his hand there.
Well, you really have to dive into your depth now if you're Florida State in that secondary to try to keep local people.
All right, Dave, we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station.
NFC North rivals.
I know we got what it takes. Let's go. Lines on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Meet under the lights in Lambeau.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
It's a pivotal test for two teams with postseason expectations. Both hungry for a marquee win to revitalize their seasons and jump back into the division title hunt. Monday Night Football. Lions, Packers, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Are you ready?
Wrestling's sexiest superstar, Ric Flair!
Wrestling was his love. Then it became a disease.
He got really wound up in it. He could have his fantasy world and his family on the side.
What if I told you his life was never an act?
I'm the best there is! Nature Boy! Woo!
release on the three. Got it.
Sit down and stay home.
Oh! Stephen Curry with some magic.
You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Now, our game next week has not been selected quite yet. You want to check the ACC.com tomorrow afternoon for the broadcast rundown for next weekend. It's the ACC Network Game of the Week presented by Mellow Mushroom. We do know we'll get started at noon with the ACC Blitz. Katie Witham leads the way in our Charlotte studio. That's the ACC Blitz, powered by Ram Trucks. Dungy with the time, just flicks it off to his right. It is caught. Extra yardage for Ishmael after the catch and inside the 40.
But good running by Ishmael. I thought Dungy got the ball out late. He clapping for the ball. Give me the ball. Really a nice run after catch by Ishmael to get what he got on the play. Dungy a little late getting the ball out there. Not heard from Ishmael much here in the second half.
His 8th catch of the game for Steve Ishmael. We heard from him in the second quarter. He had a 34-yard TD reception off the arm of Eric Dungy. Throwing again. Completing it again. First down yardage, Steve Ishmael, 7 yards.
Yeah, working that short side of the field. You got Phillips and Ishmael on the same side of the ball now, working that short side. With the two featured guys on the same side of the field, and really all Florida State's doing is zoning it off. They're not doing anything special to try to take either one of them away. Now we'll get Phillips moves across the formation, and Ishmael slides in the slot.
107 yards receiving for Steve Ishmael. On first down, Dungy felt that pressure, tried to flip it forward, incomplete at the 29. Dante Strickland tried to reach that football. Dungy slow to get up.
Yeah, he's slow to get up every time now. He's dragging that right leg. Getting a defender falling at right leg as he tries to flip it out, and he's feeling it. You can see he's feeling it. I think he's more upset that he didn't complete that little flip out there than he is about his knee hurting. Such a competitor.
18 of 33 through the air, 217 yards, couple of TDs, and 1 pick from Dungy.
Right, that single coverage right there.
Looks right, back left. Oh, nearly intercepted by Derwin James. Would have been his second of the game.
Tried to have there was a screen to the inside. You had Phillips, number 3, is going to come inside. You see the 2 linemen to release out in front. And Dungy overthrows the ball here. He overthrows Phillips, and Derwin James almost comes up with his second interception in the game.
Looked like Phillips wasn't even looking at Dungy, Dave.
Well, he's trying to come underneath. He's expecting the ball down, the ball lower. The ball was thrown over the top.
8 of 21 on third down, but this is 3rd and 10 for Dungy. Surveys the landscape, lets it fly to 25. It's caught Ishmael. He breaks away inside the 20 for an orange first down.
Yeah, poor tackling by Florida State. This is just a stop route. Excellent throw and catch, but did not tackle very well, did Florida State there.
13 yards on the previous play. Strickland now knifing his way inside the 15.
A really quick snap there. Excellent job by Florida State to rush to the line, get something positive on first down. Remember, DJ talked about this is a series you're looking for points. Obviously, you'd like to have 7 here, but you must have points here, down 10.
0 for 1 in the red zone today for the Orange. That near the 10-yard line. Strickland.
Yeah, bad decision by Strickland not to get out of bounds right there. There's nothing else he could get on the play. He gets tackled in bounds, and so that's going to bleed some more clock off for Syracuse.
McFadden made the tackle on Strickland. They got 3 in that previous play.
Yeah, 3-yard gain. He needed to get out of bounds there, Tom. Going to lose about 25 seconds on that play.
3rd and 3 for Dungy. He's got all day back there. Needs to step up. Cannot run for it. Trying to close on him. Dungy turns the corner. He goes down the sideline. Dungy stays in bounds at the 7. 1st and goal, Syracuse.
Wow, this guy dragging a foot and a knee here. Just a 3-man pass rush, so a ton of time. Then a late rusher starts to shoot at Dungy, flushes him out of the pocket, and then how about the speed to outrun Murray to the sideline, and then Thomas to the sideline, and get up the field for the first down.
Staying in bounds on that far sideline. He shovels that one out to O'Neal. He crashes down to the 3-yard line. O'Neal got 4.
This is an area where Syracuse has struggled in the red zone to try to punch it in when they've gotten down here tight. This has not been their area. Just 41% of the time, 47% of the time getting it in. Dungy.
He will just stroll in. Touchdown Orange, and it's that easy.
Bootleg play for Dungy. Boy, you gotta give that kid a ton of credit. How he's fought through a knee he'll probably have packed in ice when he heads back to Syracuse tonight on the plane. Little play fake right there, bootleg in, untouched. And Syracuse with an extra point within 3.
What a drive by the Orange. "14 plays and 75 yards for Syracuse." Dungy with his 20th career rushing TD, a Syracuse record for quarterbacks.
Eric Dungy has stepped up big. Let's take a look at this play. Okay, Florida State going to commit to stop the run. Dungy just on the naked boot going to come out. Nobody to block for him. Just play fake, just step out of it. Nobody there. You see Florida State commits to the inside against the run game. Yeah, see Dungy kind of glance over his right shoulder, making sure he didn't have somebody in his space right away. Sweat closes down to the inside, and Dungy steps around. 14 plays, 75 yards in 3 minutes and 53 seconds. Well, Syracuse with all their timeouts now, Tom, I think will kick the ball deep here. Because remember, well, you know, I take that back. When you look at it now, it's a 3-point game. You can give yourself a 2-way go here. If you onside kick, you get the ball obviously right away. A field goal is not really going to hurt you because you still can drive down and win the game with a touchdown. So there could be an onside kick here, and Florida State is going to have to defend against that. But conventional wisdom says you kick it deep, you hold them on 3rd down, or hold them on 3 downs, use your timeouts, and get the ball back. Dino may be thinking that an onside kick gets him 2 shots at it. He either recovers the onside kick, or if they don't, he still gets the ball. He still gets the chance to stop them with 3 downs to get the ball back.
Florida State has called a timeout, Dave, with 2:55 to go. The numbers for the day for Eric Dungy. By the way, Dave, that rushing TD, his 9th of the season for the Orange, far and away the most of any rusher for Syracuse.
Yeah, rushed for 100 yards 2 weeks ago against Miami, threw 4 interceptions. But what the guy does, Tom, is you're never out of the game because he just never gets down on himself. He continues to fight you, and he can beat you both throwing and running with the football.
233 yards throwing, 97 rushing. We check it on the total plays, and they're amongst the best in the nation as far as accumulating plays.
Well, that's right on the number, because 86.5 is what they're averaging on the year, so they're right on their number after this performance so far.
Grossman, onside kick. Looked like Derwin James went up to get it on the good hands team.
Yeah, and I like the call because it gives you 2 chances. Okay, you onside kick, if you get it, beautiful. If you don't, you're still going to be in the same situation you would have been if you kicked it deep. Now you've got to get it stopped on 3 downs with the 3 timeouts. But Derwin James, that's why he's in that position. Derwin James, that ball's going to jump high. You want your best player somewhere in the area where you can get the recovery. That's why Derwin James is sitting in that spot. Now, pretty clear cut here. Now, Florida State will try to run the football. They've got to secure the ball, and Syracuse trying to get a stop at 10 yards, before 10 yards, and use their timeouts.
Space for Blackman into Syracuse territory and out of bounds.
Yeah, you'd like to have seen him slide if you're Jimbo Fisher right there. So you actually provide Syracuse another timeout. But a nice play on 1st down. He gets 7 or 8 yards on 1st down.
Officially 8 yards on the carry, Dave. Down to the 45-yard line, 2nd and short.
Okay, you made the mistake. You went out of bounds. You left Syracuse with another. Did they call it inbounds on the play?
The Orange is taking a timeout. Obviously, they would not have had Blackman been ruled out of bounds.
Well, yeah, we're not inside 2 minutes, guys. That's my mistake. We're not inside 2 minutes. Remember, the clock's going to go. Once it's spotted, clock going to wind. So they had to take the timeout there. So a nice gain on 1st down, even though he went out of bounds. Cam Akers been a monster today. Florida State, they needed it because Syracuse has done a nice job against the pass. Saved the one throw to Murray. They have not been able to throw the football against Syracuse, but a nice job.
That's our performance of the game. It's brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. So again, the Orange using their first timeout to stop the clock once the ball was spotted.
And interestingly enough, he's not in the game here, Tom. Got Pierre in the game to carry the ball.
Rasul close to the 1st down.
Sorry,
right near it.
Yeah, Rasul in the game. I'm surprised Akers not in. Now here he comes. He checks in now.
Rasul might have gotten the job done. Very close to a 1st down.
Yeah, based on our look at it, looks like he's right on it. About half the football past the 1st down.
Remaining for the Orange. They will host Wake Forest, travel to Louisville, and then take on Boston College in an old-fashioned Eastern football rivalry to close out the season.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with what Dino's done in his 2nd year. He's got this team believing they belong in every game, that they could beat anybody. This team went on the road, played LSU to the wall early in the season. Did a nice job. We saw them at NC State where they were behind at halftime, big time, and stormed back and made a play to try to win the football game. Ended up coming up short. Let's look at Rasul here. See, he's going to bounce it to the outside. Goes north and south there. Yeah. Now, based on that look and in our unofficial 1st down line, might have come up just a tad short of that line. Remember, that's the unofficial line. Zaire Franklin flowing across to make the play. Get a look here. Yeah, based on that look, our unofficial line, 1st down line, he's short of that line, but where it's marked, it looks like he's got it.
Gary Patterson on the headset to the replay official, checking on that spot.
And these are always hard, Tom, to mark it because it's not in the middle of play. So now you're looking for a reference as an official as to where do we spot it, because there's not really anything.
Short of the 1st down for Rasul.
Yeah, they call him short. I'm sure the fan didn't like the fact that he was about 12 inches short. I think you're looking for something a little more definitive than that. But he's short of the 1st down. That was the key there. Now, if you got a quarterback that's a big, strong guy like this kid is, I would lean forward with a quarterback right here, get the 1st down. It is 3rd down, but the thing that blows up this play and blows up your opportunity for Florida State to win the game is if you take a negative play. I would tend to lean the quarterback forward for the 1st down here.
Just 1 of 12 on 3rd down in the game for Florida State.
The clock running now, so good job by James Black from the youngster. He's going to milk the clock.
Play clock down to 3.
Dropped the snap.
For exchange.
He fumbled the snap, Tom, and I think Syracuse may have come up with a ball. They did.
Recovered by Syracuse.
He fumbled the snap.
Amazing turn of events.
And I think they were going to run quarterback sneak. Give Syracuse credit. They stemmed down defensively.
Dave, that was Paris Bennett who came in and just forcefully took it away from Blackman. Take a look.
The key here is, does Blackman recover it with a knee on the ground, though, Tom? It looks like to me Blackman's knee's on the ground when he picks the ball up. Watch Blackman's left knee when he has the ball in his hands. Okay, he's down with his knee and he's got the ball in his hands. And I think that's going to be Florida. I think they're going to flip this over, Tom. His knee's on the ground. He's got the ball in his hands. The ball's on the ground. Going to pick it up right there. Now he's got recovery, knee on the ground. And now Paris Bennett shoots in as he gets up off the ground and takes the ball from him. I think Florida State's going to retain possession of the ball. Now they will be short of the first down. It's going to be 4th down now.
Dave, that's an excellent observation. Paris Bennett came in to wrestle that football away from Blackman. Poor exchange between Eberle and Blackman. In fact, Eberle was shaken up on the play. He's being assisted off of the field. Play officially under review with 1:57 to go. Keep in mind, Florida State, Dave, inexplicably 0-3 at home this year. The Orange has not won a game on the road away from the Dome this year.
Yeah, it's incredible, and gives Syracuse a ton of credit for fighting this one to the finish. I think this ball is going to stay in Florida State's hands, but it will be 4th down. Now, you just mentioned
that's what Gary Patterson is saying, that the quarterback was down. Dave circled that left knee when he picked up the football.
Okay, key here now, Eberle left the field. It's 4th down. He's the center. Okay, center exchange. Now, does Florida State, now they're taking some snaps along the sideline with another center. Does Florida State, I don't know if Eberle's still hurt. You could burn a timeout here and then get Eberle back in the game. If they're not, they're going to go with a different center.
Florida State is 1 for 1 on 4th down in our game. Again, nobody goes for it on 4th down less than Florida State. But this could be the game right here. Are they trying to pull the Orange?
They're going to run the clock down. I think there's a chance they run this clock down and punt the football.
Selly, the new center, will not snap the football. So, in fact, they were trying to get the Orange to jump. Discipline defensively for Brian Ward's defensive unit.
Yeah, this is where it's tough. As an offensive coach, you want to win the game. You want to go out and finish the game right here. I guarantee that offensive line wants to finish the game right here. Okay, you got a new center in the game. You got a freshman quarterback that just fumbled the previous snap. Do you go again with a run play here? Now, they loaded up the middle against the run. A late stem by that defensive front. They stemmed down and they had that middle packed. And this is this is like a 2-yard scenario here. I think you punt the football if you're Jimbo Fisher and you load up and you play defense.
Logan Tyler's in to punt with 1:32 to go.
I think this is the right play by Jimbo. I think a nice job of bleeding the clock as much as he could down to a minute and a half left. Need a good execution by your punt unit here to try to pin Syracuse.
8th time that Tyler has punted. Riley watches it bounce at the 11, takes a Syracuse roll, and finally stopped near the 18. It's a 27-yard punt. Dungy back on the field for the Orange.
All right, Shock, you got 2 timeouts left. You know the clock's going to stop with 1st down. So because the time's where it's at, got to have an idea that you'd like to push the ball, but you don't want to put it in harm's way because you're looking for a field goal here.
Yeah, Arch, I think the biggest thing to happen right now, you have to get going. This first play has to be big for you. You got to get a completion. You got to stay in positive yardage. Do not have a negative yardage play on this first play to get your drive going.
Dungy escapes. Dungy past the 30. Made a cut at the 35 and got to the 38. Eric Dungy.
Tom, it's man coverage, so as soon as Dungy breaks the pocket, there's nobody there for him. Excellent job and recognition by Eric Dungy.
20 yards on the rush by Dungy. Back to work, right side, caught. 45-yard line, Irvin Phillips, another grab for 5 yards.
And a quick timeout by Dino Babers. He was right in the ear of the official as soon as Phillips caught the football.
11 catches for Irvin Phillips. As Dave mentioned, we did the game at NC State when Syracuse traveled to Raleigh, and Phillips came up with 17 receptions to set an ACC record.
Now, this is man coverage down the field. Dungy recognizes that. If he breaks contain, he's got room to run, and it's a big run for Dungy. This was something that Charles Kelly was worried about. If we play man, which we want to do against this receiver corps, we're going to be vulnerable to the quarterback run.
And one thing that when we talked to Coach about it, he said his calls have to be simplistic, so there's not a lot of disguising. Because they go fast, they line up in it. So pre-snap, Dungy already knows if it's man or zone. As soon as the ball snap, he can take off, or he knows where to go with the football.
Yeah, his recognition shot has been spot on here in the second half and when to take off. And that's where Florida State's got to be a little careful here. Remember, Syracuse touchdown wins it for them. Obviously, they're looking for a field goal to potentially tie it. So do you play man coverage? If you do, there's got to be somebody spying Eric Dungy.
118 yards rushing for Dungy. That's a career high. Choosing to throw in this instance. Dungy swallowed up and dropped. Just too much time.
And a timeout by Dino Babers. Could not take a sack there. That's a bad play by Dungy. He's got to throw the ball away. Spying Dungy on the play was Derwin James.
Loss of 10.
Here's Derwin James right here in the middle. He's shadowing the quarterback. Here comes the pressure. Dungy got to throw that away, but had he tried to break contain, here's Derwin James rocking down the middle, right here in the middle. He's watching the quarterback all the way. Look down the field. Who's he going to throw it to? Maybe an option right here, maybe an option right there. But Derwin James is shadowing the quarterback so he can't run it.
Noddy the sack, his second of the year.
Man, that's a bad decision by Eric. He's had a heck of a day, but you got to throw the ball away there. Must throw the ball, could not take a loss. And now no timeouts left. 3rd and 14.
52 seconds to go.
Now you still have 2 plays, Tom, to pick up the first down. So Dungy can't be so caught up, and then he's got to force the ball down the field. Now, if he completes it short of the first down line, you've got to rush to the line of scrimmage and get that second play off.
No timeouts for the Orange.
Here's Derwin James right
24. Dungy at midfield to Ishmael. How did he get away? He was well covered by Taylor. They got tangled up. First down, Syracuse, 15 yards.
Yeah, it's just a spot throw. All Ishmael does is release up to the sticks and just outfights Taylor for the ball.
11 catches for Steve Ishmael. None bigger than that one.
Got to get it out.
Dungy got rid of it this time.
I know Dungy trying to buy time, but really at this point in the game, he's got to have a pretty good idea where he wants to throw the ball, Tom, or throw it away, because all you're doing, if you're trying to buy time, is you're eating clock, especially if you're staying in the pocket.
It's a Florida State player who is shaken up. With 33 seconds left. So will it come down to a field goal attempt by Cole Murphy? By the way, Josh Sweat is the player down for Florida State. Career long of 53. In their most recent game 2 weeks ago at Miami, made that 53-yarder.
He actually went 4 for 4 in that game, Tom, and 3 of those were 40-plus, including the 53-yarder. Prior to that miss to start the game, he had made 9 in a row.
Yeah, that was
blocked,
deflected and blocked by Matthew Thomas. Again, they attend to Josh Sweat, the junior from Chesapeake, Virginia. So we'll see if it comes down to Murphy with 33 seconds to go, and great to see Sweat up and walking off the field under his own strength.
So if you're thinking about his career long, which was 53, the ball needs to be around the 35-yard line is where he needs to get the ball. It's about 15 yards of offense here that they're going to need to get.
What an effort by Phillips and Ishmael and Dungy.
Trailing 27-24. Syracuse has not won a game in this series since 1966, when the teams first met in Central New York at Archibald Stadium.
And at one point down 14-0 and down 21-7 in this game at one point. They've been able to fight back.
Florida State has led the whole way. Dungy inside the 35 and complete. Irvin Phillips.
And the clock stopped now. If you're Dungy, you kill the clock right here. You clock it.
16 yards on that pass play. You said, Dave, they've got to get to the 35. They're at the 34. Dungy with a player around his ankles, and he got rid of it. Kando was pressuring Dungy.
Yeah, the freshman had gotten in around his legs here. He gets singled up on the back Strickland, and Strickland does the shoe duster block.
It's an awkward fall by Dungy, too.
He had a defender laying on the back of his legs. He just did a nice job. Now, what you're obviously trying to make this an easier opportunity from a kick standpoint, but if you complete the ball inbounds, there's a chance you won't get another snap if you're short of the first down line.
No timeouts, 16 seconds to go. Dungy lets it fly near the boundary and caught.
Boy, how good a throw was that?
Ishmael on the grab at 9 yards, out of bounds.
Not going to get better coverage than what Taylor has here. He's right in the hip pocket of Ishmael, but the ball is right on the money to Ishmael. Little toe tap and step out of bounds.
11 seconds to go, no timeouts, 3rd and 1.
Remember, you complete the ball for a first down, you'll be able to kill the clock. Cannot take a sack. Cannot take a sack.
Gets away, gets rid of it, deflected away and incomplete. 6 seconds on the clock. It's 4th down. Here comes Cole Murphy. 1 for 2 today. The miss from 48 after it was deflected. The make from 42 yards away in the 3rd quarter. This attempt for Murphy to tie this game with 6 seconds to go, and Florida State is going to make him think about it.
Yeah, he has had an excellent year. Tom, you mentioned the field goal attempt in the first quarter that was tipped. He had come in, made 9 straight. Since then, he's made a field goal today. But he has had a solid year for Dino Babers.
The field goal attempt is going to be in the 42-yard range for Murphy. Again, as long as 53, which he hit a couple of weeks ago against Miami.
Florida State has to be careful here. It's 4th and 1, and you know you want to try to block the field goal, but you can't get too eager and jump off sides and make it an easier field goal for them. So they have to be careful here as well.
DJ, 6 seconds to go. What a football game. 27-24. Jimbo Fisher's team in search of its first home win of the year.
And Tom, how about Hofrichter, Florida native, Valrico, Florida. 43-yard opportunity here.
This to tie the game. 6 seconds to go. Cole Murphy, the senior. From 43 yards away. It's no good. The clock runs out and Florida State has won it. 27-24. "43 yards away for Cole Murphy. Florida State wins it in thrilling fashion, 27-24 for their 3rd win of the season, and Syracuse denied its first road victory of the year. Now 0-4 and 0-3 in conference away from Syracuse, New York. Just that close for Cole Murphy.
What an incredible finish. The reaction from Coach Babers. And in the end, it's Florida State. Led the whole way, and they get the win. What a performance by Eric Dungey. Cam Akers, the running back for FSU, with a huge day. Folks, for highlights and must-see moments from this game and others, visit theACC.com. Coming up next on theACC.com, our studio crew. Katie, Tommy, and Stan Moore analysis of today's ACC action in our post-game show, Victory Formation, on theACC.com. Once again, go to theACC.com tomorrow to check out the games and times, especially right here on the ACC Network, for our ACC Network Game of the Week presented by Mellow Mushroom. Folks, you've been watching coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference football on the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Florida State wins it on a miss by Syracuse at the end of the game, 27-24.